10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to this episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's up?
What up? Nothing much, just chilling. Looking forward to talking about the stuff that we have on topic today. So it's going to be an interesting show. So I'm glad you guys, all the comment section. I'm glad you guys are on. I want you to stay tuned because it's going to be pretty interesting talk here.
It is some more off-season shenanigans. You know how to do. What's up, chat? Appreciate you guys all coming through. Melissa, first in the door. Appreciate you. Christy, what's up, sis? JDLR, Joel, Alberto, what's up? Throwback. Nobody likes you. What are you doing here?
I know.
He told me earlier. Nobody likes me. I'm like, what the hell are you
I saw
about?
that. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, what's this fool talking about?
Goofy. Hey, Ron. I'm glad you could make it live. Appreciate it. So let's start off with a giveaway. We're going to, since quarterback drama that we love so much around here, let's start off with an old quarterback that had some drama of his own when he played for us. Like, this quarterback drama just doesn't leave this team, I swear.
Was it Joe Montana?
Yep.
Oh.
Joe Montana, Will to Win.
I might have to get on this one. No, I'm just playing.
I was going to swipe it from y'all. Enter your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100. No duplicates for those that are new or don't know. We'll give you guys a little bit to enter some numbers, let some people join in, and then we'll draw the number. Whoever's the closest will win. If you get it exactly right, we have this that you'll get on top of it, a Brandon Ayuk jersey card. And then I think once we get rid of that one, I did have another of those stacked up, but I think we're going to go with Aaron Banks autograph card.
Oh, nice.
Something different. Show some love to the O-line.
Yeah. Show love to the trenches.
Yep. So after that one's won, then we'll go with this Aaron Banks auto. So good luck, everybody. Make sure you got your lucky numbers in. Put these away. Twin's supposed to be joining us, but he's not here yet, so hopefully he can join in. DeMarcus, I see you, brother. How you doing? Bebop. Beto. C's. I thought that says D's at first, but I'm glad it says C's. I'm like, D's what? Bebop, I haven't seen you in a while, Bebop. Where you been? You been cheating on us? Jerry, what's up? East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. Hey, y'all, if you aren't subscribed to East Coast, hold on, I unplugged my damn earphones. All right. If y'all ain't subscribed to East Coast Red and Gold Podcast, please take a minute right now to go over, click their name, go to their page, subscribe for me, please, and come back, and we'll be here waiting for you. They're awesome over there. They're doing great things. I just got a Talanoa Hufanga jersey in the mail that I won on their channel. So make sure you go over and show them some love.
Bebop answered your question. He said, been going out too much. You been hanging out over there on South Street in Philly or what?
So you hoeing around then. Cheating on us.
Just because you're going out don't mean you're out there blowing people's backs out.
Well, if you're going out right, then that's what you should be doing. And after this Montana card, we have I got some Trey Lance lined up, some Brandon Ayuk. We'll see how far we get. Bosa in the stack, CMC, more BA, more Lance. So we got lots of good stuff lined up for you guys. So make sure you get those numbers in there. Mods, if you could do me a favor, if you see some new people entering this, every so often, put a reminder out there to enter their numbers. Melissa, I appreciate you. Melissa just dropped the link to East Coast Red and Gold podcast, so you guys can click the link right there. Go and subscribe.
Good job, Izzy.
Appreciate
Always
it.
showing that support.
She's a good mod.
She is.
So I guess, yesterday, it's funny because like I was telling TL before we came live, the name of the show is Can 49ers quarterback Trey Lance take back the starting job? And I had already done that before we even found out about the news about Purdy last night. So yeah, that was kind of worked out in a way that we really didn't want it to, but let me pull up this exact tweet so we can get it right. So yeah, last night the news came out from Tom Pelissero, which I'm sure you guys all know by now, that 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy which was yesterday, visited with the doctor who recommended postponing surgery because of ongoing inflammation in Purdy's elbow. They'll reconvene in early March. All signs, which this is the part I understand why this is here.
The wife's home.
Yep. All signs continue to point to a UCL repair that would have Purdy ready for the 2023 season. And we kind of discussed this on my show with the guys yesterday, is that if you're postponing a surgery, which you don't even have a date in March that it says, right? Just sometime in March. Yet they're still saying, but he'll still be ready by the beginning of the season, right? Like, first of all, you don't even know that. Like, you weren't expecting the elbows to still be swollen right now, right? So how are you guys so confidently putting it out there? Oh, but he'll still be ready by the beginning of the season. Like, I just don't think that part needed to be added there.
Yeah.
And then he follows up with another tweet that says, the best outcome for the so-called internal brace surgery comes once inflammation is gone and range of motion is back. Delaying surgery doesn't change the timeline much. So this is the prudent course of action to make sure Purdy returns at 100%. That's kind of strange to me.
Yeah.
Like, because even if, say, the surgery only gets pushed back 2 weeks, well, that would still then put, you would think if everything went how they expected, that would put that 2 weeks to the back of his recovery time, right? So say we'll just throw out a date, like I'm not sure what date he's supposed to be back, but let's say September 1st. Well, that would then you'd have to change it to, okay, well, now it's going to be September 16th, September 15th, right? Because you had to push it back 2 weeks. But he's going to sit there and say, oh, the timeline won't be pushed back. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, it's already crazy that an elbow is still swollen a month later to me. A whole entire month later. And swollen too much that you can't do surgery.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, so what's to say that swelling goes down in 2 weeks, in a week, whenever they reconvene, whenever that is?
It might not be till April at this point. Who knows?
Exactly. And you're still putting out confidently, oh, he'll still be ready by the beginning of the season. Like, I was already not thinking he was going to be ready by the beginning of the season anyway. Because if you took the time from when he was supposed to have his surgery, and they were saying 6 months, well, the season was already started, about to start, and they're saying he was going to be back for training camp, which never made sense to me. What are your whole thoughts hearing that news?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I watched a replay on that, and it didn't really even look like Hassan Redder did too much of a number on his elbow. Like, it looked so, like, I don't know, it looked like a routine hit. Like, for it to be inflamed a month later and still swollen is crazy to me. And you're right, like the way that they're putting out these timelines, this kind of surgery is so unpredictable, because it can be anywhere between like 5 months to a year, depending on how much damage is done, in the elbow and the ligaments and all that stuff. So I don't like that. I mean, who knows? I don't know if they're just doing it just to give, us 49er fans some hope and, just trying to give us some positivity with it. But I wouldn't put out a timeline until he actually has the surgery. Like, after he has the surgery, then I think you can really sit there and be like, okay, the surgery is completed, inflammation is now down. I'm expecting a 5 to 7 month recovery, something like that. But to put it out there before the surgery is even done is crazy to me. So I'm not sure. Just going back to what I'm saying, like, we've seen way harder hits in the NFL, and just the way that, it's the way that it's so much damage done right now. I honestly can't believe it. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, like, he must have hit it like in the right area for it to be the way it is. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I wish they wouldn't say stuff like that to give us those kind of hopes. Like I said, I guess I can kind of get the point of saying, like, oh, I still see a timeline of him being ready for the season, but I don't know. I think that's pretty premature. I think they definitely need to sit there and just wait until it's done, because who knows? They might come. Let's just say March 10th is now the scheduled date, or whatever the case may be. And now and then, and the 8th comes around, they say, man, I don't know if I can do surgery in 48 hours. Let's go. I mean, yeah, 48 hours. Let's push it back another 2 weeks. Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, and like David McNiner said, it took him 5 months to recover from a partial UCL tear. Partial. I wouldn't even know how much of a tear he has right now. So, the fact that it's still, inflamed and still swollen, who knows what happens when he goes in and they say, oh man, you have a full tear. If there's a full tear, he might not play all season. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, I feel bad for the kid. I mean, he was looking so promising, and I'm not saying this is the end of his career. I'm just saying, like, for him to start off the way he did, and with the bang going 7-0, and for this to happen to this young man, it sucks. And now we're looking at it right now. Come OTAs or whatever, we're looking to probably only have one healthy quarterback on this roster. So I don't know.
Yeah, and as of right now, we have no healthy quarterback on the roster. So
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I see a couple people joined us in. I see you. Appreciate you joining. David McNew, I see you. What up, everybody? I see Melissa's reminding everybody, but in case nobody's seen, make sure you got your numbers in. We're going to try to do them quicker today, so we're not losing numbers like 30 minutes behind. So we're only going to give you guys a few minutes to enter the numbers. So you better be on top of your game. Hopefully Twin comes. I messaged him and I haven't heard from him, so still
Hopefully
holding out hope
okay,
that he'll be here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope everything's all right, so.
Let's go ahead and get this giveaway drawn. This first one. I see a couple numbers still coming in. Yeah, that's the crazy thing too. Yep. Like DeMarcus says, with so much inflammation, sounds like it could mean Tommy John to me, but I'm speculating. And that's the thing too, is like, it's all speculation, because, they're saying, oh, he's going to go in, get this internal brace. He'll be back 6 months, yada, yada. Well, we don't know once the doctor gets in there what he's even going to be able to see. What's actually in there, because obviously he hasn't been able to see what's going on because there's too much freaking swelling, So
yeah,
it's like when he gets in there, it could be a partial tear, and the internal brace, whatever, is not going to work, and he does need to have the full thing. Knock on wood, that ain't the case, but it's still a possibility, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, like, throwing out the timeline thing from the very beginning was just always weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, especially because that injury is something that we don't really ever deal with football players too often.
Yep.
Like if it was a torn ACL, I feel better about them saying, oh, well, the timeline is yada, 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 because we see that happen so often.
Yeah.
And it could still fluctuate, but most likely it's usually this amount of time, and it could be shorter, it could be longer, but the average. But we don't even really have that with this situation, because it's such a weird injury to happen to a quarterback, to a football player.
Yeah, you're right. Like if they would have sat there, like if he would have torn ACL or whatever, they would have said, oh, he could be back around playoff time. That would have made more sense of, like, okay, well, they're looking at about a 10, 11th month recovery, whatever the case may be. But the fact that they're sitting here, giving us a deadline or a timeline or whatever the case may be of when they expect him to be back without a surgery even being done is crazy, because they have to go inside there, scrape out some tissue, and there's a lot of stuff that has to be done right now. So who knows how long that's going to take.
Well, Melissa, go find them. Where they at? You're supposed to be finding these people and bringing in the troops, herding up the cattle, getting them in here.
Herding up the cattle.
I talked to Oh no, I didn't talk to T earlier. I was gonna say I talked to Tanya earlier. Not Tia. JV probably working. All right, let's draw this winner. Again, it's for this Joe Montana Will to Win. It's a beautiful card in person too. I like it a lot. So good luck, everybody. I was telling them yesterday, Bryant, well, the Colts together, they have so much shit that normally I'll send out the giveaways in this. Right? Like a padded envelope.
Yeah.
And I can usually fit like 6 in there if I do it, the right way, correctly, good. They have so much shit that I have to put all their stuff in a box to send it.
Wow.
Because I would have to freaking have like 8 of those damn things. Like $30 worth of stamps on those bitches to send them over there.
That's
It's
hilarious.
cheaper to just put it all in a box and ship it over.
Yeah. Brian on the chat laughing. He's like, that's
Holy
a blessing,
shit.
man. You guys got a lot of stuff, man. That's awesome.
Yep. Maybe next year, whenever it makes it to you, you guys will have, ready for Christmas presents. All right. It'll get there in time, for the new baby. Let's go. Oh, and speaking of,
Ooh, 3.
exactly what his normal number that he always picks is. Did somebody pick
Did you
3
see
before you
that
got
in there
here,
already?
Brian?
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I just don't know. I saw him change it, so I don't know if. But I know he always picks 3.
Let me go back up in the chat. I think Izzy was first. I started. Where are you at, Melissa? Okay, here we go.
Brian's gonna swoop in and rob everyone. Oh, Bebop! Bebop had stole it.
Bebop was first. Ooh, yep.
And we were just talking yesterday how Bryant always picks number 3.
And Bebop goes missing for a few shows, comes back and wins.
Out horn around and comes back and collects shit. What's going on there? Congrats, Bebop! Congrats. Both of these going to Bebop now. Ayuk jersey card and Joe Montana. Congrats again, Bebop. So that means the Aaron Banks autograph is up for grabs for the next person that gets it exactly right. That fast. It's crazy. Sometimes you'll go like weeks without somebody getting it, and then other times it's like bam, bam, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's awesome.
That's right.
The first giveaway collects big. Let me change this thing here. All right. If you guys want to go ahead and start in your numbers, Alberto's, he's ready. He's already ready.
Man,
he's already beating you guys.
He ain't messing around. We'll go ahead and star him real quick.
Let's go with the Trey Lance this time. Go with this. Get it out of this ugly thing. Go with this one. Trey Lance. Supernatural. Rookie card. Good luck, everybody. We'll give you guys a few to do that. Let me see if Twin. Nope, still nothing. Hopefully he's okay.
As I said, hopefully everything's all right.
Yeah, because I talked to him the last few days, like every day. All right, so obviously, now this, like we were already going into OTAs to training camp, obviously with Trey Lance as the guy, because he's going to be the only, healthy quarterback that's on the roster right now. We're going to need to pick somebody up, regardless of if Purdy's ready, Purdy's not ready, I want them to get, like a cheaper vet, somebody that's going to come in that knows their role is the backup, that, is there to help these young guys either way, right? Because they're both young. Purdy only is his second year, Trey Lance is third year, but he really hasn't played, right? So,
yeah.
I think that we need that veteran in there. And then I wouldn't be mad too if we were to get a quarterback with the last pick that we have, or a free, an undrafted guy, somebody to stash on the practice squad that can be there for camp and all that shit, scout team, whatever they need them for. The question came up yesterday about that whole situation. And Ryan was talking about how he thinks that we should carry 3 quarterbacks on the active roster because of the whole injury thing, yada, yada. The way I feel about it is if we're able to, that's the thing, is because when you have somebody on the practice squad, there always can get snatched up, right? So it's like, if we pay this vet that's going to come in, we can't just stick him on the practice squad.
No.
So it's like, if Purdy's ready and Trey Lance is ready, and then we have this vet, what are we supposed to do with him? We're going to have to carry him on the roster. Do we really want to take another roster spot on a quarterback? What do you feel about that? What do you think we're going to do with this extra? I mean, we need camp body quarterbacks for sure, regardless of who, what, where, when.
This is tough because, initially before, the injury and stuff like that, looking not knowing how severe it was, I was thinking like, and by the way, let me back up. Brian Griese was the one who advocated for Brock Purdy. He said, "Hey, I've been looking at the film. This is the kid I like." So shout out to him for seeing the talent and doing it. So so before I figured out how hurt Brock Purdy was, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with getting another 4-year starter in college to come in, play, be the backup, kind of like our Brock Purdy. I'm not saying I'm looking for it's going to be the same success, but I feel like, you get somebody like that who's poised, who's been there, has the reps, you get somebody in, and leaving, I like that name, Jake Haener. That'd be a perfect guy to bring into the system. But at the same time, if Brock Purdy is going to be hurt as long as we think he is, we need to bring in a vet as well, somebody who can come in. And I heard some names out there. I heard like a Taylor Heineke. I heard like a what was the guy that played for the Cleveland Browns that was the quarterback before Deshaun Watson got there. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Talking about the black guy. Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
They were like Jacoby Brissett, but you got to look at cost. These guys are going to cost too much. Taylor Heineke is going to cost a decent amount. Jacoby Brissett's going to cost you an amount. You need to look at guys who has some starting games, but not really is considered to be a starting quarterback. Like a Mike White, to me, is perfect from the Jets. He's been on the league a few years. He started some games. He he comes from a similar system playing with the Jets because the offensive coordinator, he knows Kyle's system somewhat. I know the playbooks are similar, but he knows, probably at least 20 to 30% of Kyle's playbook. That's what I would say. So if you bring in somebody like a Mike White, plus maybe get somebody in the 4th, 5th round, even if you want to wait to the 6th, 7th round, I'm okay with that. We need to bring in 3 capable quarterbacks to come in and throw, because then bringing only 1 or 2 quarterbacks in is reckless. 1, because of the injury situation. 2, because you don't want to tire out these guys' arms, them throwing all the time, OTAs, training camp, preseason, all this other stuff. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I just there's a couple guys out there I saw. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but ones that come to mind are the Andy Daltons, or maybe, like I said, a Mike White. But if you bring in somebody like that and then draft one, I'm more than happy with that, and I think that will be just fine going into camp. And Trey's supposed to be healthy before the start of OTAs, so we should be fine. That's my opinion on it. But holding 3 quarterbacks in on the 53-man roster, Cooper Rush is another one that's solid. Yeah, look at 53-man. I mean, I get Ryan's point because of what has been going on with our quarterbacks. But it's kind of hard to say because we have the last few years we've had such a talented team. It's like, do you really want to cut a pass rusher or maybe a good secondary player to hold a quarterback that's probably not even going to play? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to come down to. So, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what are your thoughts on Mullins coming back
as a camp body? Well, I mean, Sudfeld, I feel like, I guess I wouldn't mind it. I mean, he was on the 50. He was on the final roster until the final cuts. So the fact that they paid him $2 million and stuff like that, shows that they trusted him and they expected him to be the backup initially. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind Suffield. Nick Mullins, I would probably say no. I mean, he has the talent, of course, but I mean, he knows the system and he's somewhat talented. But I think Sudfeld would probably be a better fit. I've seen somebody in the comments on Baker Mayfield. Those guys are gonna be
Thanks,
too
Jess.
expensive. Yeah, them guys are gonna be too expensive. So my in particular, my favorite is Mike White. He's young. He has some talent. He can come in there and win you games. I mean, he played pretty solid for the Jets last year when Zach Wilson was hurt. So that's who I would pick. And I feel like he's a player who hasn't been hurt really. He's not too old. He's more maybe like 26, 27, but yet he'll come in with the mindset of like, yeah, okay, I'm okay. You know, being a backup here. You know what I mean? So, because I don't think anybody is beating on the door to bring Mike White in as a starting quarterback. So
Yeah. What about Baker? Like, I was thinking about this when we needed to use Josh Johnson and that whole fiasco in the Eagles game that, we probably would have had Baker on the team had the Rams not swooped him up just to fucking do nothing in the end of the season, right? Like, they weren't going anywhere. They didn't need to win any games. Like, they swooped him up specifically so we couldn't get him, I think.
absolutely.
Because what was the point of that? Like, they could have just rode off with whatever crappy quarterbacks that they had there, Like, you weren't trying to win anything, And I was thinking, had we had Baker in that situation, our team would have been a lot more competitive right then, instead of fucking old Josh Johnson that couldn't even take a snap. Like, shit, I could have done better than that. So I'm not sure how much Baker would cost. Like, I've never been a fan of Baker's attitude, like the way he acts, but maybe he's, been put into his place now that, he sees he's not getting the starting job. He's not the man anymore, like his head shrunk a little bit, but who knows?
Yeah. And we can ask the chat, like, so in my opinion, if we're really going in here in this off season thinking, we're going to look for a backup quarterback, what is the right price? Because I know Trey Lance and Brock Purdy together are making like a little bit like close to 12 million or 11 million, something like that. So that's a cheap quarterback room for two starting caliber quarterbacks. Like, I feel like if you can bring somebody in for about 5, maybe 4, something like that. Like, I don't want to spend no 10 million on somebody coming in. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully we get like a Mitchell Trubisky situation when he first sat with Buffalo behind Josh Allen, where he took 2 million. He's like, hey, take $2 million, whatever the case may be, and he was okay being a backup. So if you can get somebody less than 4, I think I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, and I think some of those guys will be like.
Yeah.
I don't know about Cooper Rush, but I definitely think Mike White. Should be. Cooper Rush, I don't just see that because we've seen him come in and look better in the Cowboys offense than their own starting quarterback at sometimes. So I just think, he might get an option to be maybe not the starter, but maybe to back up a rookie or somebody that's there. Twin said he thought it was 7 his time.
Oh.
Well, 4, 5, 6, that is.
Well,
no, he's specific.
He's I thought he lived like in the Midwest somewhere. But yeah, Lee, that's a good one. 3 million, no more. Yeah, I feel like less than 4 million would be perfect, like you said. I think the Taylor Heineke is going to be too expensive. Jacoby Brissett, he's not going to take no $4 million. Like, I can see him going somewhere, like who's a team up there, like the Houston Texans. If they, like Houston Texans, if they get a CJ Stroud, they get a Jacoby Brissett to maybe start the year off until CJ Stroud is ready. Because Jacoby Brissett shows you he can win some games with Indianapolis and with the Cleveland Browns. They were like in the playoff hunt until the last few weeks of the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good on Flacco.
No, heck no, no. I'm good on Flacco.
I didn't even like him when he was a starter in freaking the Ravens.
This guy named Kevin Stevens said, why not Jameis Winston? The thing about Jameis Winston is he gets hurt a lot too. He gets hurt. Yeah. He gets banged up a lot.
Every time he would get a starting chance in Miami, he would get hurt in freaking 2 minutes.
Yeah, I just don't think he'd be ideal for the situation because like I said, one I don't think he would take no $4 million. And two, he's probably like in a Jacoby Brissett situation where, you can start him off or have a high level backup for like a rookie quarterback in a CJ Sprout or Caleb, what's a guy for USC, Caleb Williams, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I just think that you just have to, it's all about cost when it comes down to it. Andy Dalton, I think he took like 9 million as a backup. So, and
Yeah.
he's going downhill. So if you can even talk him into maybe saying, hey, or even if you want to do it incentive based, like, hey, and I hate to talk like this because I hate to talk about injury of a quarterback, but say you bring in an Andy Dalton, you say, look, we'll give you 3.5 million as a backup. However, if you start any games, this is what your incentive is going to be, where he can make up to maybe like 8 million because he's starting. You know what I'm saying? Something kind of like the Jimmy thing, like earn your money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Come in as I mean, because let's be honest here. If we give Nate Sudfeld $2 million as a backup, we have to give somebody like Andy Dalton or Mike White or somebody like that more money than that because they're more talented than Nate Sudfeld. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking like me and David McNew kind of said, I think 4 million is a sweet spot, and then you can add incentives on top of that. So
What's up, JB? Glad you finally made it. We're about to send Melissa out on the search party for you. Everybody got your numbers in? We're gonna draw the winner for this. JV, I don't know if you want to get your number in because I don't know if you want to scroll all the way back up there and find. Let me see what time it started. 21 after the numbers start with Alberto, number 6. If you want to scroll up and check your number before I draw.
What was the time?
21 after, I think.
21 after? Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, okay, I got it.
Anybody else that needs sent your number, JB? Give you guys 30 seconds. Sin says, I never want to see Nick Mullins again.
I think he'd be a great coach, like once he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be
Is it really you, Nick? You don't even know how to log into that damn account. So I'm not buying it. All right, let's draw. We got some more people entered. Melissa said Nick Mullins is nightmare fuel.
Is Mitchell Trubisky a free agent? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure. I'm sure if not, he's going to get cut from that team anyways because he got benched and
Kenny Pickett is definitely, he's definitely the starter going forward. Yeah.
Twins here. Let me drop this thing here. Bring him in. You ready? You good, Twin? All right.
I'm Gucci.
What's up? What's up?
What up?
Good to see you.
What's going on, man?
What up, Twin?
How you doing?
What's going on, man? Out here micromanaging all these little munchkins right now. How y'all doing?
Good.
So just so you know, you might get an impromptu visit. You know what I mean? So they might come through and do a little "What's up?"
Yeah, it's all good, my guy.
We're gonna draw this giveaway winner real quick, and then we'll get your thoughts on this whole Purdy situation. Oh, I saw somebody guess this number last giveaway.
Are you serious? 69.
Ooh, Mitchell 69. Oh, 69. Mike McGlinchey, baby.
NorCal Bill hit it right on the head. Ooh. At 22 after.
Back to back. Right so on the head giveaway.
No Drizzy Drake though, huh?
No.
All right, NorCal. So that means you get the Trey Lance. Oh, it's getting dark in here. Let me turn on some lights. Oh. All right. Get Trey Lance, Supernatural, and the Aaron Banks autograph.
Ooh, big ABZ.
Congrats. Let's play this for you.
Bill hit us with the next Friday. It's Mr. Nasty time.
It's Mr. Nasty. It's Mr. Nasty time.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling about the info that came out yesterday about Purdy's surgery being postponed and them saying that, you know, they still expect him to be ready by the start of the season?
At this point in time with our team, when it comes to injuries, I'm just baffled about how we want to trend, like with the ideologies that we're going to be doing things correctly, or we're going to be like a team that handles injuries like consistently, and we really don't. Every time we get a prognosis, it's always later. You know what I'm saying? Like we say one time, but then eventually it ends up being a later time. And so for me to sit here and hear our organization at that press conference say, hey, 6 months. You know, we heard from Kyle, we heard from Kyle Shanahan, and also John Lynch. And I was like, all right, man, you haven't gone in. We haven't seen what was what. And we automatically saying, hey, man, 6 months and he's in there, you know, and he's good to go. And so I just thought it was very unfortunate that now the prognosis is it could be longer. And you have a young man who's only 22 or just turned 23 years old, and he can feel the pressure or the weight of the world on his shoulders. And he may say, hey, man, let's hurt him, try to get it done. And the doctor's like, hey, maybe not just yet. You know what I mean? So, like, I just didn't like how we gave that timetable out early. And then now you have a segment of the fans are like, hey, he still is going to be ready for, you know, for the September game in week 1. And then you got people on the other side like, hey, bro, we have a bad history, whether it's Kinlaw, Hurd, like there's multiple players we can look back on and say that we rushed them back. And then what happened again? They had to get another surgery, or they came back and they didn't play necessarily like they was playing prior because of confidence, because of like repetition and things of that nature. And so I really hope that we just take our time, and I'm mad that we didn't. They could have said, hey, to be determined, we're going to reevaluate this after February the 22nd, and then whatever it is that the doctor tells us, then we'll let you guys know. But for right now, we don't know as well.
We said the same thing, Miriah, about the timeline.
Yeah, that's the thing I hate too. Is like you put out this long ass tweet, and then after saying all this bad shit, you're gonna say, "Oh, but he's still expected to be ready by the start of the season." It's like, how the fuck do you know? You weren't expecting this shit to be swollen right now, you know? So it's already a setback, and yet you think everything's gonna be great in a week, 2 weeks when you go in to do it. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Right. What's up, Lake City Fresh? Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah, you're right, Twin. Yeah, you're right, Twin. It's just scary, too. Like Miriah had mentioned before you got on, it's like what the championship game was, the 28th, 29th of January, wherever the case may be, and the fact that it's still inflamed is crazy.
Yeah, man. And then also, like I said, it's the elbow, and everybody knows for sports injury when it comes to football, this is not something that regularly happens to a quarterback. And so for people, again, to already have the perception that, hey, it's still a 6 months diagnosis where we don't have 200 players or 350 players when it comes to ACLs or MCLs or Achilles or rotator cuffs or bicep tendons again. Like we have these things happen often in the sport of football, right? This is something that consistently happens. There's no data like that when it comes to the quarterback and his arm, and especially his right arm. You know what I mean? So anything what you want to do is you want to make sure you're kind of not like you're not necessarily going ahead of time, but you want to take your time when it comes to your prognosis. And so give the boy some time, man. And especially this shows whether you anti-Trey or pro-Trey, but this shows people who already have given up on Trey. It's like the organization is so set and gun-ho on this guy, and it doesn't even matter what Trey Lance was. We don't care because the organization is trying to let you guys know they want him in week 1 as a starter. Because I was hearing this on 95 on the game today, and I was like, bro, y'all really are just you tossing the young boy out, you know, early on, and that just wasn't cool. I just don't like how people are. That narrative is being pushed by big media, and we can't fight that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I totally agree. We had talked on our last episode how like it's just unfortunate how like you can't sit there and talk good about one quarterback. Well, the people out there they can't talk good without destroying the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like, oh yeah, Brock Purdy. Like I've saw on Twitter ever since this inflammation thing came out. Oh, there it goes again. Trey Lance is gonna luck into a starting job, and I'm just
Yeah.
like why is it gotta be like that? Like you know what I'm saying? Like for me, me, I'm at the point where I want the best quarterback to play. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it
Yeah,
is. Obviously, I'm a big supporter of Trey, and I honestly believe, and it's not a biased take, I honestly believe both of them healthy, given the fair opportunity to win the job, Trey still could probably win it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's my perception on it. But yeah, it was just so much stuff going on. People like, oh, there he goes again. He's lucked up to it. I mean, these people
Hey,
talk bad about Trey like he slept with
look,
their wives or something, bro.
listen here. I woke up today. I ain't gonna lie. I woke up today, man. My phone had a whole bunch of notifications because I did say something to somebody. I ain't gonna say no names, but he was like, Trey got to come out to a hot start in the 2022, 2020, 2023, 2024 season. I was like, why does this man all of a sudden have to come out to a hot start? Trey does.
Mhm.
Routinely, since Kyle has been inside this organization, we always came going. No, we always start off slow, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And also, other quarterbacks have started off slow too on multiple occasions. But I'm like, y'all didn't say this guy has to start off fast, because the thing that people say about our team is this team has talent all around, you know, whether it's the wide receivers, the tight end, the running back, you know, the offensive line or the defense as well. So this is not a singular type of, like, this was a uh what's my man's name, just won Super Bowl, a Patrick Mahomes situation or Joe Burrow. Like, you know that these quarterbacks are the engine to the team. But with this squad, we know the quarterback is not the engine to the team. We know this, you know what I mean? And so that's why I didn't like that narrative already being pushed forward. I was like, man, here we go again. We got to start defending these certain narratives that's about to start coming out everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already was seeing as soon as this news came out yesterday. We were live. I get done the show. I go to Twitter, and there's already all these posts about bring Jimmy back, bring Jimmy back, bring Jimmy back, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like seriously? Like, oh my god, I just can't. I can't go through another fucking offseason of Jimmy, bring Jimmy back. Like, I almost wish that Brock Purdy was healthy for lots of reasons, but one of the reasons so that Trey can go in there and beat the shit out is, just take the competition, beat him, and beat him flat out, fair competition, and Trey win just so we can shut everybody up.
Well,
that's the point that I'm at. Like, oh my god.
And
Like,
and there was a narrative,
so
and that was something as well where everybody was like, well, Trey, he was given the job last summer. I like, okay, cool. And then everybody was like, yeah. You have the people and the whispers all of a sudden when Brock comes in the game, he plays well. I saw this in training camp. I seen he was doing this, he was doing that. And so on one side, you hear people always talk about how the boy, what's my man's name? Kyle Shanahan doesn't show favoritism. So he says, if you win the job, you win the job, right? Similar, a perfect situation is with our safety situation. You pay Jimmy Ward good money, right? He was an all-pro, Pro Bowler at the position last year, or at least top 100. And when another guy came in and played just as well, guess what they said? Hey, man, let's go to another position. So I'm assuming that if Brock was as good as people, and this is not saying that Brock doesn't play lovely or well or great. I'm not saying that. But y'all saying that in OTAs and training camp, he was playing at that type of level that I think Kyle Shanahan would be like, all right, cool. Trey Lance move over, Brock come in, or even Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
You move over, and Brock Purdy is the number 2, right? Because
exactly.
He was already he's rehabbing the shoulder. Brock coming fresh, young buck, full testosterone, ready to go. So listen, he would have said, hey, I sent Nate Sudfeld out the door. We got Jimmy. He's still rehabbing the shoulder, but if push comes to shove, he'll be our third string quarterback. And know what, guys? Man, this guy out of Iowa State, this Brock Purdy, man. Listen, let me tell you guys, that's our number 2. You see what I'm saying? Did that happen?
No.
That didn't happen. So
Yep.
So I'm just saying, well, where was that type of energy? You know what I mean?
I agree. I say the same thing. I'm like, I feel like Kyle Shanahan, bottom line, he wants to win, period. He's tasted the Super Bowl numerous times. That man wants to win. So if you're sitting there and if you're a coach and you're just playing favoritism because, oh well, this is the guy I like, then I'm going to question your head coaching ability. Because if I'm a head coach, I'm playing the best guy, period. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, this guy, I like him because we hung out and we barbecued together and all this other foolishness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kyle Shanahan's competent enough to where he's going to know, like, well, dang, Brock Purdy looked good. I know we traded all this draft capital for Trey, but ultimately I'm going with the best guy. And I want to give you kudos for what you were saying earlier because, me and Miriah say this all the time, and it's like Kyle Shanahan every single year, except for the year we started off 9-0, whatever the case may be, we start off slow to the point where we're in week 7, week 8, questioning if we're going to make the playoffs or not. We've done that the last 2 years. Started off 3-4. When we lost that Colts game last year in the rain, I was like, I don't know, man. It ain't looking good. We got to win 7 out of our next 8, wherever the case. You know what I mean? It happened. But I'm just saying, like, we start off slow for years. So yeah, you're totally correct. The way it's looking, looks like Trey's going to be starting week 1 from all accounts. You know what I mean? If everything goes well. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, even if we're 3-0, if we're scoring 18, 19 points a game, if we have Brock, we'd be putting up 30, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be all this other stuff instead of just understanding the nuances of our team and knowing Kyle Shanahan starts off slow every year. But I'm just looking at it as now, finally he has his running back. You know what I'm saying? He has the guy that creates so many mismatches that I feel like going into next year with the healthy roster, I don't feel like it's going to be started off as slow as we usually do. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure. And especially, again, that's another thing about I don't mind say, again, if you want to critique Trey Lance, go ahead. But my thing is always, look, let's add context. Last year, we loved 49ers. We was in the NFC Championship game. Everybody talk about Tart. We saw Tart look up, maybe drop a ball. Bloop, 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 bloop. We get that. We saw in the offseason, we all looking like this. Hey, Alex and Max, what's up? What you going to do, Alex? You coming home or you staying away? You coming in or you going? Lincoln Thompson, you going to the Jets. All right, you up out of here. You know what I mean? Mike McGlinchey, hey, the man thigh muscle was hanging on by a thread, by a dental thread. You know what I mean? So we heard all of this throughout the offseason. What is our offensive line? People forget. Aaron Banks, we drafted him last year. We ain't never see him. Nobody knew what he looked like. We had Buford. Nobody knew. He was a rookie. We didn't know that he was going to come in. So it was the offensive line issues, right? That we didn't know was it be settled or not. Debo was sitting there getting his money. We had Elijah Mitchell, but people don't say this either. Elijah Mitchell was hurt throughout the whole offseason as well. Yep. But you can't say that either because all these context is left out. Nobody talks about this. And then when Trey Lance did play, and we saw that he had to play against not a number 1 cornerback, he had to play Emmanuel Mosley. He was on the other side too, who was playing like a bona fide number 1, but he was slided over to the number 2. You see what I'm saying? And then he's playing against these guys, a young quarterback, which I say he needs repetition. I'm cool with that. But then he comes to the first game, he doesn't have George Kittle once again. You have a line that's beginning to learn one another. It's not going to happen in 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
No continuity at that point.
No continuity, no chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And so, when people say all that, and then again, Brock, big ups to you. I love the way you played. But then we all of a sudden say Jimmy G was on a 5-game registry as well. So that's Brock came in to a hot oil tool machine. He wasn't coming. This thing was already lathered up. You know what I'm saying? That thing was already I'm keep PG, but it was already, what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So it was already in the oven for 4:15, baking already. You see what I'm saying? For about 45, 30 minutes. So when he come in there, it's like, okay, the defense is humming. The offensive line starting to hum. CMC knows the playbook. He's already in great shape himself. So he did what he needed to do, and he balled out. Trey did not come to a situation like that.
Not at all.
So that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I got a question for you. Just hearing all the talk and all the stuff going on, and you're right. Like if you want to sit there and talk about Trey Lance, like if you say, "Oh, I don't think he's ready," or "I haven't seen enough," that's perfectly fine because I get it because you're bringing content to it. But just to automatically say, "Oh, that man's a bust," when that man has three, they want to trade our healthiest quarterback on the roster. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to ask you guys this, because, it goes back to, last year and all that stuff when you had these veterans, when you had the what you call it, Jimmy Wards, the Fred Warners, the Azeez Al-Shairs come out and say in practice, Trey shreds the defense with his arm. Okay. So if he's shredding the defense with his arm in practice against a top 3 defense, why aren't these same play calls being done in the game? And I think that's what irks me the most. And Denise hit the nail on the head. Let me see Trey as a quarterback and not a running back. Let me see him have that same game plan as Brock Purdy and the Jimmy G, because I see 2 different game plans, which bugs me. But like we said, but then when you have the opposite side, when you have players who are playing against him every day in practice saying he shreds us with his arm, so that right there just doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't get why he doesn't get more opportunities to throw the ball, which people have brought up numerous times. The game that he won, where he ran the least, is what we won against the Houston Texans, where he threw the most. Well, he threw the most times. You know what I'm saying? He didn't run much. He didn't run much against the Houston Texans. He was throwing that rock. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 1,000% agreeing with you, man. And a lot of people say, well, he can't make the short throw or the short pass. I'm like, again, when Brock came in, or even when Jimmy G first came in, these first couple of games, he missed some flat throws. You know, in the flats, he missed some easy slants routes to my guy Brandon Ayuk. He threw a couple balls in the dirt. Okay, I get it. It happens. I've seen Pat Mahomes do the same thing. You know what I mean? In the game against Buffalo last year, like, it happens. You know what I mean? This game is about repetition. It's about learning the pace and the speed of play. My whole thing was this, because everybody said, well, he can't run the playbook, and this is what the narrative for the national media, and this is why a lot of the other fans who may be anti-trade, they get on the bandwagon with this type of material, and this is what I hate. It's like, dude, take the playbook that you had from Texas from the back half, the playbook you used in the preseason with the Kansas City Chiefs that he played in. You can condense those plays and then add more plays that are similar to his skill set in the first 3 to 4 weeks. You know what I mean? We have a top running game. You can run the ball. You don't have to run your quarterback. And my thing has always been this. Every year we have an injured quarterback. Every year we have multiple running backs injured. Why would I put my quarterback in that situation? Why would I put him in a situation where every year for the last 6 years we had a different number 1 leading rusher? Every year. Every year we had multiple running backs get hurt. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. Every year we had multiple quarterbacks get hurt. Yes or no? Yep. So where is it in you know how I say you got a Kelly Blue Book or Carfax? Where is it in Kyle Shanahan coaching facts that if I'm gonna run my quarterback or even have him sitting out there like a sitting duck, that he won't get hurt? So to me, I'm like, hey, that's coaching. You're a great coach, Kyle, but there's certain things it's okay to call you on or critique you about, because it's not a 1-year thing. This is several years. This is not one happenstance. This is a habit.
Consistent. It's consistent.
You know what I mean? And for us fans to sit there and say, hey, man, I don't like the way that's been done. That's not cool. And people say, well, you try and call for Kyle Shanahan to get fired. Like, nah, man, I'm pointing out an obvious situation that we see that it just make us scratch our head like, come on now, Kyle, what's up with that?
I'm still looking for those plays that Kyle was drawing up on his way from Trey Lance's pro day.
Yeah,
like, where those
on the airplane.
Like,
yeah.
You couldn't wait to get off the freaking airplane. He's drawing up plays for Trey Lance on the way back from his pro day. Where's that at? Because the shit you have him out there doing, like, I don't know. It's very questionable.
Yeah, you're right, Twin. Everybody who argues the point of why he doesn't get the same playbook, they were like, well, he's not good at the short to intermediate routes and, all this other stuff. But I'm just like, that stuff goes with, with having the reps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you notice with Trey, like that. You mentioned that Houston game. He started off slow. Like, yeah, it wasn't sexy, nothing like that. But, he didn't. I think he had the one turnover, and that was it. I think he went like 9 for 13 or something like that. It was something like that. But anyway, you go in the second half, he gets comfortable. He's not running as much. You have him, running out of the pocket and all this other stuff. He looked nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish that those are the plays that you give him on a consistent basis. That's the only way you're going to make him better as a quarterback. All these QB powers and all this other stuff. Like, I don't get it, man.
Hey, man, listen, have Trey. Everybody was talking about, again, on 95 game today, it was like, well, the reason why they run them power, because he can't make the edge. He's too slow. And I'm sitting here like, bro, he doesn't necessarily have to run at all. All you have to do is when he sees that the pocket is breaking down, you use your legs to extend the play, or you can do boot action, or you can do rollouts. Nobody's telling y'all to create this Lamar Jackson running playbook for this guy. They told us, and y'all, when the process was going on, when they were drafting, they said we wasn't drafting Trey Lance because of his athleticism. He was a guy up here that when we gave him the board, y'all know what the board is, and he was able to regurgitate information, summarize it, reflect it, rephrase it, and bring it back to us the way that we was giving it to him. That's what made us like Trey Lance. It wasn't about what he did as far as athletically with his legs. But now all of a sudden, this is where you don't want to be bringing in all this other stuff into a play. But that's when people be like, is it a narrative now? It's like, oh, he has to be able to run the ball to be successful in the NFL. It's like, man, come on, let's not do this again, please.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck because I'm gonna bring it into the conversation. They see Trey being a black man, they think automatically he should be a top runner. That's not his game. Even Patrick Mahomes, he just runs to escape the pocket and stuff like that. He's not a great athlete either when he runs the ball. If you notice,
come on.
You know what I'm saying? You look at Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, they're different runners than Trey Lance. Trey Lance is not that 4 or 5 guy that's going to sit there and run for 60 yards, for a touchdown. But that's what it comes down to. But they look at him and they just assume, oh, he's black. He can run the football. But no, that's not what we drafted him for. He's an intelligent quarterback who can stay in the pocket and make the necessary throws. But people don't want to see it that way because the man is black. I'm gonna keep it a buck right here.
Well, that's the thing is that they always think that black quarterbacks or that black, football players aren't smart enough to play the quarterback position. Yet leading up to this, all we heard about Trey Lance was how smart he was, how smart he was. Yet, this last year, so many people wanted to go back. Oh, Trey Lance, he couldn't even get the playbook there. Oh, he's not smart enough to run Kyle's full playbook. It's like from the very jump, they told us that he already had the playbook down. So now why all of a sudden is he stupid? He was such a genius before, but now all of a sudden he's too stupid to play quarterback. It's like it just doesn't make sense. If he was white, would he be smarter? Is he cool to play quarterback then? Like it just doesn't make sense, And people want to be like, oh, well, don't bring it to race. Don't bring it to race. It's like y'all are making us take it to race.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And I hate. And look, that's what I hate doing too. I be like, man, I don't want to go there. I'm from Mississippi. Like I grew up with some real stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's the last thing I want to do. But it's like anybody who's in any profession, you see certain things that other people might not see. So I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to say nothing. But again, like you said, like Miriah, it's like it happens so often that for me to like just be quiet is like almost neglecting. Like, I'm not gonna give y'all a pass now because one of my things that I disliked last year was I say Matt Miyoko. He was. Did not Trey. I played Rocket Train. That's what I said too, Miss. Oh, and so Matt Miyoko, y'all remember the first game after the monsoon, right? Matt Miyoko said, "Well, if he play like this in another week or two, I think Jimmy Garoppolo should probably be starting by week 3." Y'all remember that when he came out with that? And at that moment, I said and said, "Wow." You are the probably longest tenure beat writer that the 49ers have, right? And respectfully for what you do for our journalism, but when you say that, man, everybody else going to pick that up and be like, okay, every little thing that he does, we finna get him out of here for, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's where I say there's a biasness there. Not saying you are racist, but I'm just saying like that's where we gotta look back. It's like, bro, give the man some opportunity. Jimmy G the year before was 3-5, lost for a whole entire month.
Yeah.
We forget, like, to let the young boy play. Let him get some repetitions. And that's where I say, man, we just got to do a better job at just being honest in our evaluation, man, and not be so quick to say this guy is a bust.
Yeah. I posted this a while back on Twitter. It's like, I don't know any player, I don't care what the situation is, that has played. I mean, the man just turned 22. He's about to be 23 in May. Like the man's 22 years old. I've never heard anybody write somebody off after 3 complete starts. I've never seen that like ever. You know what I'm saying? Like you got people like Trevor Lawrence, who was terrible last year, and people still weren't calling him a bust. And then what happened? I mean, it took that man 20 games for him to start doing good.
He still threw 4 interceptions in the playoff game, though. But
that's what I'm saying,
bro. What he gets the grace of mercy?
Yeah, and I.
What about Jalen Hurts?
Oh, Jalen Hurts. Oh yeah, he was.
Jalen Hurts went a year and a half of freaking shit, and then takes his team to the fucking Super Bowl. So like, think if the Eagles would have gave up on him the first freaking season.
Exactly. Yeah,
Joe Burrow. Y'all remember Joe Burrow? In the beginning of this year.
Oh, he was terrible.
He was throwing, man.
Yeah, it just what it comes down to it too, and I get it. Like I understand these fans are impatient. These fans, we haven't seen a Super Bowl since '94, so I get it. They were like, this team ain't ready for Trey and all this other stuff. But at the same time, it's like just give the man his reps. Like, and me and Miriah said it last year. We're like, we fully expect him to struggle for at least 6 weeks. We said he's going to take his lumps. He's going to do this. But then when you start getting that man into a groove, and because he's smart, you start giving that man the groove, the reps, get him in the groove, he'll be fine. So and I really truly believe, but see, he's not getting a fair shake because every time he gets in, he throws a ball in the dirt. It's, oh, look and see, we need to put so-and-so in. It's like you said, Twin, every quarterback has his moments where they throw it in the dirt and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I truly believe, and like I said, I'm a huge Trey Lance supporter because I just think the man has everything it takes to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. I'm not saying he's ever going to be top 5, nothing like that. And he doesn't really have to be with the way this team is put together, the way Kyle calls plays. I truly believe that you get Trey in there, you give him his reps, he can be a top 10 quarterback. And I truly believe that he can take us to the promised land because he can attack every area of the field where the team can't just say, well, let's just cover over the middle. Let's cover intermediate. Let's cover deep. He can throw everywhere, which we didn't have. We've never really had that before. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was telling her. And that's what I was telling everybody, like, yeah, like, you look at Matt Ryan in 2017, Matt Ryan was never considered the best quarterback in the NFL ever. Not one time was ever, he's the best. But he get in that system. He had the weapons, end up winning MVP just because he just has to make the right throws and do the right thing. And then Kyle's offense just opens up everything for everybody. But like I said, going into this year, hopefully everybody's healthy. You got a healthy CMC. CMC was an X factor to this whole offense. Let's just be real.
He was like some steroids, man.
Yeah.
He was like what, man, he gave that, you know what I'm saying? And bro, it took him to another level. And I think me and UTL had talked about this once before about the 49ers over the last 4 to 5 years. We never had a running back that caught the ball out the backfield.
Nope.
If you look at majority of the quarterbacks who were successful in the playoffs, they had a outlet, in the running back game to be able to dump the ball off when you see pressure or where your first or second read's not there. The timing is short. You just dump it off to somebody who get the ball.
Yeah,
like that's a major play. Jimmy G, I would give Jimmy G this. His game looked even more fluent with a Christian McCaffrey. I was appreciative. You know what I mean? And I can be objective and say, I'm glad Jimmy, your arm talent was limited. But I did appreciate you having the capabilities to use a weapon like you did with CMC. And so at the same time, I'm like, we're not going to allow Trey Lance the opportunity to have 3, 4, 5 games with CMC, or we're not going to allow Trey Lance to have the opportunity to have a George Kittle. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. The first thing he said was this: hey, man, ever since I came into the league as starting quarterback, it's been a blessing to have who? Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? We love what? Dwight Clark. We put the catch everywhere.
Yep.
Brett Jones. We put him everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the Cowgirls, but they had Jay Novacek. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on. A quarterback best friend is a tight end. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we just dismiss all of these things. Like, not saying us, but a lot of the naysayers. You be like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. And we've all said it too, and people they dismiss the fact. It's like out of Trey's 4 starts, George Kittle played in one of them, and the one he played in, we won that game. You know what I'm saying? The one he played in, we won that game. And like you said, Christian McCaffrey, he's just because he's so versatile that you can put him in the slot in the backfield. He'll cook a linebacker. You know, he'll cook a DB in the slot. He is that good where he's so open all the time, where it's like you get in trouble, you dump it off to him, and he'll get you out of trouble every single time. And then on the fact that you got an IU running free, that's why I say I like what Trey Lance can bring, because you know those deep routes and stuff where people usually don't see him and he gets overlooked. That's not going to happen with Trey. So then when you start keeping the defense honest, you keep throwing them deep balls, then people are going to be like, oh, okay, now I can't just, like we mentioned earlier, can't just crowd the box. You know what I'm saying? Because we're scared of the dump offs with McCaffrey. Now you got to worry about going deep with Ayuk, and then we got a Danny Great sitting in the wings.
We still got him.
We still got Danny Great to stretch a defense. So we have the talent. We just need to keep Trey upright, keep him healthy, let him play quarterback, and not having 13 to 15 runs a game. That's way too many.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be. Yeah, no, go ahead, bro.
Did you guys listen to the Howard? I was gonna say Howard Cosell. I mean, not Howard Cosell, but what's the quarterback? He was with. He does the film breakdown all the time. I don't know why his name slipped in my mind. He just came out with the Purdy evaluation.
Yeah.
JT evaluation. No, the older guy, the OG. He's been around since like John Madden days. Cosell.
Greg Cosell?
Yeah, Greg Cosell.
Yeah.
And he was going over the offense, and he was just talking about how quarterback friendly the San Francisco offense is. But then also he was looking at, he was like, as time progressed, there's a lot of shots that were being missed. And I heard Deebo Samuel talk about this the other day. I think he was on either the Rich Eisen show. He says, we do all this in our offense as far as scoring. And he says, we don't even take shots. He says that like everything that we do is pretty much 20 yards and under, you know, as far as the depth of target. And I'm just wondering, like, man, I think we are usually a good team against talent that is subpar. Like, just our talent alone will beat a lot of those teams. But when we play against talent that's like right here with us, those vertical passing that you're talking about, those vertical routes, those deep posts, those 9 routes, you know what I'm saying, those deep flag routes, that's when you need somebody who has the arm strength to stretch out the defense or to give us a quick explosive plays where we're kind of bogged or like we in a fog, can't necessarily move the ball like we were with the Dallas Cowboys. Because no offense to Purdy was doing good, but when you start playing against those guys who come out the edge, run a 4-4 or 4-3-7 when it comes to Michael Parsons, and DeMarcus Lawrence was keeping the edge, they weren't going for the fakes. Our defense was like good. I mean, our offense was like ish. It was tight. You see what I'm saying? And when you didn't have that threat, those really good teams with talent and those defensive coordinators that know how to manipulate certain things, I thought they were starting to get a beat on our team, not just on Purdy, but our scheme in itself. You know what I mean? And again, we got to realize the higher that you go, it's just that stuff needs to get harder and harder. You know what I mean? And so that's why you do need those quarterbacks who have the arm strength to go down 50 yards or to throw the ball 35 yards. Can y'all hear my baby?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, my bad. She trying to talk like her daddy. But no, I'm just making mention of like this is what they be. This is what they do. You know what I mean? So we got to realize that there has to be a next level we're going to have to take, and that's why I think the arm talent of Trey Lance is very important to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. Real quick, Chrissy says, can y'all say a prayer for me, please? I have surgery for breast cancer on Monday. I'm terrified. I'm so sorry to hear that, Chrissy. We'll definitely send a prayer up for you. I pray
for sure.
Wish, send all the healing vibes your way and hope everything goes great. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. I got you, Christy. You know, I'm a prayer warrior, so I got you. You know, as soon as we get off this video, I got you. I'm gonna be on my hands and knees in my room saying a prayer for you, because you know, it brings a tear to my eye, to be honest, when I hear stuff like this. Like, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, I got you though.
For sure. Yeah, and also, man, I apologize again. Listen, I was thinking 7 o'clock my time. I don't know why I thought it was 3 hours and not 2 hours.
No worries.
Do you live in the Midwest, you said?
Yeah, I live in the Midwest.
So that's why I had 2 hour difference, yeah.
I think I have. Yeah, it's 2. Oh, yeah.
Those that did see, starting at 5:07 my time, so 7 after in the chat, we're starting a new giveaway The numbers start with Melissa with 38. So go ahead and enter your numbers. We'll do a Brandon Ayuk.
Big ups to
Brandon
BA. Big ups to BA.
Get your numbers in.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody. And then I want to say what's up to Tanya, Denise. I saw you guys roll in. I appreciate you, ladies.
Yeah. You know what's so
let me
crazy
ask you guys
too?
this.
Go ahead.
If let's say, all right, that Purdy has a surgery and can be back by week 4, ready to play, good, at the point, if, whatever, he could be the backup, yada, yada. Let's say, though, because everybody keeps saying that, it should be a competition, When are they going to compete?
Exactly.
During the regular season? Because Purdy ain't going to be there in training camp to compete. So if all these people that think, Purdy has the job, it's Purdy's job to lose, yada, yada. So that would mean if it's Purdy's job, come week 3, come week 4, week 5, whenever he's ready, that he's going to come in and just take the starting reins.
For sure.
Right? Or how do you then look at your team that thinks that this is Purdy's job? And two, what you brought out like about last offseason, if he was killing it in camp, right, Purdy, how do you then go into your team in the locker room and say, I know that you guys have been watching Purdy ball out and, making Trey look stupid, but we're still going to roll with Trey because winning's not important.
And Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, what happens now whenever Purdy does come back? Now we're in this situation that what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, if they do start out slow, is Trey Lance going to get blamed for that? And the reins are just going to get handed over to Purdy? If Trey Lance is killing it and the team is losing, and it's not Trey Lance's fault, say he's going, 21 for 23, 200 and something yards, 3 touchdowns a game, but the team's finding a way to lose, are we pulling Trey Lance when Purdy gets back? Like, how do you guys see that whole situation happening? Because like you said, how's the coach that's wanting to win, that needs to win? Like, people have him that he's choking up freaking Super Bowls. He's choking up the championships. He can't fucking, come through when he's needed the most, right? So he needs to win a Super Bowl.
For sure.
As bad as he needs to win one, so does Kyle Shanahan. So how do you go look at your team and say, okay, well, you guys went to the NFC Championship game with Purdy, but we're going to stick with Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then we know up until this point that players, I've always thought, that players aren't on the side of Trey Lance, and now we're hearing players come out and talk up Brock Purdy, which we haven't heard them come out and talk up Trey Lance. Yeah. So it's like, if all players are on Brock Purdy's side, it's like, how do you then come to your team and say, well, Brock Purdy's ready, but we're still rolling with Trey Lance?
I got the quick answer for it. This is where Kyle Shanahan actually needs to be a real coach. He has the power to nip all this stuff in the bud real easy. Hey, Brock Purdy is our foreseeable starter as a San Francisco 49ers quarterback. Period. Like, I know we drafted Trey Lance, but what Brock Purdy has shown, the evidence, whatever the case may be, I feel that this is the guy that will lead our franchise here and going forward. You cut the division that we've seen over the last several years, because every year, Kyle, you're looking at somebody else. You're looking at Tom, you're looking at Aaron, you're looking at Deshaun for his situations, you're looking at Matthew Stafford. So even though we had Jimmy on the contract, I was still looking there elsewhere. You got Jimmy, and you still looking at Trey. You got Trey, and you still looking at Jimmy. You got Jimmy and Trey, you still looking at Brock. Hey, man, cut it out. Pick one guy. I ain't never seen a coach with this much talent on a team not have a set quarterback. And for him to not have a set quarterback, this is the issues that you cause. Man up, make a play, commit to it, cut all the chatter out. You can have everybody else get behind whoever the person is. And that's what needs to happen, in my opinion. You just got to make your decision and live with it.
I couldn't agree more. And for you guys to say, like, yeah, this man has to win. If you think about it, since 2017, so in the last 6 years, of the NFL. Kyle has made 4 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls. The man needs to win. He needs to win the Super Bowl probably more than any coach right now in the NFL. You know what I mean? He's been knocking at the door, but he's not getting let in. You know what I'm saying? So he has to win it. But I agree with you, Twin. And I said the same thing, our last episode. I'm like, look, when it comes down to it, Kyle, he needs to put his foot down and let these people know there's not going to be any bickering. We're in a locker room with a bunch of men. And all this back talking and all this talking behind our back. Well, I don't like Kyle's decision. I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm just saying the locker room is split on the quarterback situation. I'm thinking it's more like 60-40, even 70-30 Brock instead of Trey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Kyle being the coach, he needs to sit back. I mean, like I told Miriah, you got Kyle, you got Brian Grease, and you got Anthony Lynn. 3 capable guys sitting in meeting rooms after every practice evaluating talent. So if you come through and like Miriah said, Brock ain't gonna be competing. You know what I mean? As far as we know, and probably not until probably preseason, if that's their hopes or whatever the case may be. But let's just say the man does come back. Let's just say he comes back in July and he's good and he's doing his thing. He's missed a lot of reps. If you look at the situation, if Kyle, Anthony Lynn, and Brian Grease are sitting there and they look at it and they say, "Man, Trey has looked good this year, this off season. He's making all the throws. He's healthy. Whatever the case may be. I want to name him the Week 1 starter. You need to bring all these dudes into the locker room have a team meeting. This is what's happening. We're the coaches. Trey starting Week 1, period. Like, I don't want to hear no bickering and all this other stuff, because ultimately this is my team. And if you guys are gonna trust me, then trust me to put us in the best situation possible. And that's what it comes down to. I'm tired of all this bickering. Like, it was funny because like when I was in the military, we sitting in a locker room, in a birthing room with a bunch of men. There wasn't no bickering. They tell us, go down to the magazines and fight. I don't want to hear no bickering. You guys go fight, knock each other out, come back in here, shake hands, and be a man about it. None of this talking behind each other's backs and stuff like that. So I agree with you.
Yeah. It's causing too much confusion, man.
Yeah, he needs to man up. This is what's going on. He's our starting core, whoever it is, whether it's Brock, whether it's Trey. This is what we're doing, and we're going to stick with it. Just imagine, like Miriah said, if Jalen Hurts, I'm sure there was some chatter with that too, with the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation. Oh, I want Wentz. No, this is what we're doing. They ultimately decided to go with Jalen Hurts, be patient with him, and look where it took them. So that's what they need to do. So that's what I say. I totally agree with you, Twin, huh?
Look at the Buffalo Bills. We can sit here and say, hey, who's Buffalo Bills quarterback? We know. Who's the Bengals quarterback? We know. Who's San Diego Chargers quarterback? We know. I mean, that lost, we're talking about LA Chargers quarterback. We know. You know what I mean? It's like we not on one of those bottom feeder teams that we shouldn't be over here guessing who's our quarterback.
Yeah,
exactly. There's no other team that's in contention every year that doesn't know who their starting quarterback is year in and year out. Like every single year, for as long as freaking Kyle's been here, we don't know who our fucking quarterback's going to be. So,
I'm just, Miriah, tell me who you think it is. Like, name a team that we've seen have this much success consistently, and they're still playing musical chairs with the QB. I mean, come on, hey man, look, listen here. We are the Lori Harvey when it comes to men. Like, we are here. We trade these in and out. We don't know. Look, one day is, it's Creed. You know what I'm saying? My guy, Michael B. Jordan. Next day it's Snowfall. It's like, bro. And one day it's Future. Listen, pick one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is not no hip hop Hollywood squares, man. Just pick a guy and go with it. Let's keep on going. You know what I mean?
You see how bad the Dolphins were when they first got to, and they was doing all this flip flopping with him and Fitzpatrick, back and forth. And they finally said, we're gonna go with Tua, and they were playing very well until he got hurt. Like they were one of the top teams in football. You know what I'm saying? When they finally gave him the reins, because ultimately, when you have a young guy like that, man, it provides confidence. I don't care who you are. They make millions. It doesn't matter. They're still human. When you got somebody, if I'm doing my job and Miriah's my boss and she hires you, and I know that you have the capability to take my job, it's going to bother me. Yeah, I'm going to do my thing, but I'm still going to be like, man, I can't mess up. I can't do this. And,
come on now.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Every athlete says this, man. confidence is still key. No matter what, even though you made it to the 1% of the 1%, every athlete will tell you, my confidence is key. And every athlete confidence can be shaken. And a young boy who is trying to be a leader of men, grown men who got kids, who maybe got some grandkids, like you leading grown men, you got to know that when you turn around in the locker room, in the meeting room, that these guys are behind me. I'm not worried about what's out there in front of me. But if I got to worry about the people out here split, and then I got to look, can I tell George this, or can I say something to Kyle, or can I say something to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, nobody, that's not cool. You know what I mean? And so I'm with you on that, man. Look, put your foot in the sand. It says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, man. Look, put your foot down. Let's keep it going. No matter what, Kyle, pick your boy. Let's go with it, man. Don't be afraid. It's all right.
Yep.
Hey,
I
Aaron,
totally
good
agree.
to see you.
Hey, what's up, Aaron? Yeah, and there's, like we said about the locker room being split. There's some players who make some snarky comments, and like what 49ers throwback just said to Melissa, bringing up when Trey got hurt and Jimmy came in, it was like, oh, it feels like 49er football again. And Eric Armstead talking about Jimmy G as our savior, and like, come on, man, like that's the kind of stuff. Like this, like Trey's old enough to be my son. He's young enough to be my son. You know what I'm saying? 22-year-old kid, and he's sitting back hearing this stuff. And people say, well, as a quarterback, you got to have some thick skin. I agree. I get it. You have to be your mindset has to be probably the toughest in football. You know what I'm saying? As far as the quarterback, because you're leading a group of men. But I don't care what the situation. When you got people who are Pro Bowlers not backing you, that says something where you're just like, man, I don't even know what, like I don't care. He's going to feel like no matter what I go out there and do, they're still going to be looking at the next man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be going to battle with these guys every single day, knowing that these guys have his back. And I don't feel like ever since he's been here, we could say that, because it never has felt like even half the team has had his back. And it's really unfortunate,
You saw what happened. Even I'm telling you, y'all remember that Miriah, remember that Mike McGlinchey play when Mike missed the block and Trey got ran
Trey
like
on the ground.
Trey. I said, bro, that was Trey's fault. You sat there and left my man wide open to get hit, and he got tagged, and you just kept walking
and didn't pick him up.
Yeah.
Didn't look back.
You would have never seen him do that to Jimmy.
Oh,
he would have been on his hand and his knees to fucking pick up Jimmy.
He would have gave him a whole piggyback ride. He was like, he was a quarter for the ride. He gave him a quarter. He was like, he's a quarter for the ride, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, come on. Where you do that at?
Yeah. And I get it. I think that like Trey, he's such like a nice guy, stuff like that. He better than me. Because me and Mike McGlinchey, I would have been about that action. I'm serious.
Sure.
Like, come on, bro. You missed a block and you can't come and pick me up. Like that would have like.
Hey, but one thing I will say,
I might have punched him in his face in the locker room, but I ain't gonna lie. That's the kind of stuff I don't like. Like Miriah said, you're supposed to be going to bat for these dudes. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be a teammate. If it was Brock Purdy, if it was Jimmy, he would have been like, oh man, I messed up, pick you up. He walked by like whatever. Like, come on, bro. And I'm pissed off that somebody else, like a veteran, didn't get in Mike McGlinchey's face, like a Ayuk or a Debo. Hey, what's up with that, man? It was your fault. You couldn't pick this man up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's crazy, bro. It's a trip.
Hey, I definitely, like I said, I agree with you on that one, man. And that's what I think. I seen 3 interviews of Trey, and I don't know if y'all saw the edited version, or not the edited version, but maybe the extended version of Trey with the guys from the Rich Eisen show. Like it was like 15 minutes long. Like it was before it was on camera, and then even after camera, they did some more. And I was like, all right, I feel like he got his swagger. Like when I mean by swagger, it's like, man, you know what? Listen here, I ain't gonna lie. I played sports my whole life. I played football, played basketball. Had scholarship to play in Michigan and DeBorn in Michigan. Listen, one thing we know as hoopers or even as football players, when I step on the court or I step in the field and I'm looking and I'm like, I may get hurt, like I sprain my right ankle or something like that. So I know I'm going left majority of the time. I know I'm not going to necessarily use my right hand. I may hesitate a little bit, but I'm going to go to the hand that is where I can be more explosive with. I saw Trey Lance talking. I was like, hey, guys, listen here. I'm hurt. I wasn't feeling good last year, whatever the case may be. Y'all saying Purdy deserved all the accolades, the roses, the rice. Yes. But he said, listen here. Now I see how y'all really talking, how y'all really feeling. That I can really talk I can get in my bag. Hey, get healthy. I want you to get real healthy. I want you to feel good. I got something for all y'all. Like that's what I saw when I heard him talking and I'm listening to him, his tone, like it was some real low key meekness and humility, but the same way it was like, I ain't worried about nothing. Let me just give me the same chance. I can't wait to see y'all. I don't know if y'all felt that through the screen, but I felt like there was a certain like, man, because this is the last thing I'm gonna hush for a second. This is an omen, I believe. I think it's called an omen, but this is some weird stuff. So y'all do realize that when Brock Purdy was a freshman, Trey was a freshman. The quarterback that was the freshman starter at Iowa State ended up transferring because Brock Purdy got the spot. He transferred to NDSU. Thought he was able to play down there because it was NDSU. Lo and behold, he didn't know that there was this rookie or a freshman, a redshirt freshman named Trey Lance. And he ended up taking over that spot. So my man left one school that he was playing in, went to NDSU, ended up wasn't able to play because of Trey Lance, right? I think the same situation would happen even if Brock was healthy. He got ready. He thought he had a position. Then Trey Lance was like, all right, I see you, and I'm going to come take your spot. And I believe the same thing would have happened whether Brock got his injury, his elbow taken care of, fixed early or not. I think his skill set and just his mentality would have overcame a lot of situations. We would see him go out there and ball.
Yeah. I mean, because if anybody thinks that Trey Lance is just going to go out there and lay down and expect, let fucking Purdy take his job, like, you're in for a fucking rude awakening. Because, like you said, like, I could hear through that interview and just the things he said, like, he's ready. He knows what he needs to do. Like, and being, just even as a man, as a human, as a person, you're not going to get drafted 3rd overall, which is a huge accomplishment, right, in its own self. And then you're going to go, okay, I think I'm going to let this guy that was the last draft pick. You're almost the very first draft pick. I'm going to let the guy that was the last fucking draft pick come in and take the job for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's just going to walk in and let that fucking happen? And I keep going back to that. All these scouts, everybody, when they're still, even to this day, yesterday I listened to an interview about it. They're asked, well, why was Purdy drafted? Did you guys miss something? Blah, blah. And they always say, Trey Lance was drafted number 3 for a reason. Purdy was the last pick of the draft for a reason. It wasn't that people made fucking mistakes. It was that way for a reason, right? Like, He doesn't have the skill. He will never even, he could practice, he could play, he could spend every waking moment in the gym, anything. They go to all these fucking trainers. He's never going to have the talent that Trey Lance has. So really all Trey Lance needs to do is show up, put the talent, use your fucking brain, your God-given fucking abilities, right?
Yeah.
And go out there and ball. Like, you've been doing this your whole life, kid. Like, I have so much belief in this guy to just go out there and do it. Like, he just has to be given the chance to be able to do it. You can't expect somebody to do something if you're not even giving him a chance to do it.
Or running up the middle, like, nah, bro, let me do my thing. And I think Chris Sims even said something like this to this next. He says, for the next 2 years, he said, all right, I'll take Purdy. But he says, if there's not a Debo, if there's not a George Kittle in a CMC, he says, wait. He said, now listen here. I'm not saying that Brock Purdy can be your franchise without the type of talent that's surrounding him. He doesn't have the natural abilities to supersede subpar talent around him. And he said, now, if you're looking for a quarterback to do that, that's when you put Trey in and then you allow him to go through his mistakes. If that's what you're looking for. Last time I heard Kyle said this, he said, listen, we're not trying to build a team just to win right now, but we want to be a winning organization for the foreseeable future. We know that Trent Williams is getting older. We know that Debo is going to be, we want him to stay healthy, but the way he played, his body might not be able to sustain. We know that George Kittle, the same thing with him and CMC. We know these guys are going to age out. And you got young quarterbacks who's not even 25 yet. So you want to make sure that you have a quarterback that can grow with talent or grow with less talent, but because of his own capabilities, he can be able to get you out some precarious situation and do some things that make you say, ooh, okay, that's why we got you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you got and that's where I feel like I'm with you in the greens on that. It's like, hey man, you got to let that boy cook. And with anything, you need preparation. You need to feel like it's okay to mess up sometimes, because that's the only how you're going to learn. You're not taking L's, but you're learning lessons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I talked about this going into this last season, that I was after, Kyle finally came out and said, yes, Trey's our guy, Trey's our starter, yada, yada. I went into last season the most excited that I could remember being as a 49ers fan for a season to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, and just like the players on the team, the coaches, all the other fans, I didn't know what Trey Lance can do. We think we know what he can do. We hope, that's what he can do. But just the possibility of the things that he can do, we haven't seen that in so long that I don't understand why you wouldn't want to take the chance, and then people keep going, oh, well, this is a win now team and you can't put this project quarterback in, right? We've heard that since the minute he was drafted. We need to start Jimmy because Trey Lance ain't ready. We need to start Jimmy because Trey Lance ain't ready. Well, did we win a Super Bowl in this time?
No.
That whole time that Trey Lance is sitting there riding the fucking bench because he's not ready and the team's ready to win now with Jimmy. Did they win?
Last time I checked, we still got 5 rings, the same amount of rings the Cowboys got. I don't like that.
And yet they're still using that same excuse. Well, the team's ready to win now, so they need to start Purdy. So.
Oh, but wait, remember this though? Purdy was a rookie. So what was kind of weird to me was like, so y'all was perfectly fine with a rookie starting the last half of the season with Brock Purdy, where the first half was, we'll say it was a toss-up. We was just going through the ebbs and flow, right? But then you telling me you couldn't give the same young boy the same opportunities to have use the first half to kind of get, acclimated to the fast pace of this is the National Football League. You got some real monsters on the other side. You know what I mean? And so you telling me it's okay now for a rookie to play in the playoffs. It's okay now for a rookie to come and play in the NFC Championship game. It's okay now for a rookie to have the capabilities to go into the Super Bowl. But just less than 8 months ago, y'all was like,
mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, it's such amazing how quickly you just all of a sudden believe in a rookie. But then last year you couldn't believe in a rookie. I'm like, are you seeing this? I'm like, y'all gonna say this on tape? You gonna tweet this out? Like, y'all got carbon footprints out here. We can go back and look at what you're doing. And then you gonna tell me I'm crazy because I'm reading what you wrote. I'm like, you didn't keep the same energy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm with you on everything you just said.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we've been a win now team since 2019. My bad. Go ahead.
That's the shit. We've still been hearing it every fucking day since. And yet we still haven't won shit. Like Emiliano says, the only win now team that don't win. Shit.
And then get mad at everybody saying, and we make them, well, what happened was, what I'm saying, what was good, what I'm saying? Steph Curry with the 30, man. Y'all make sure we got the 30. Congratulations, Appreciate you for going in there and putting your numbers down below. Y'all make sure y'all like the content. Make sure you're subbing to the channel. You know what I mean? We love seeing your comments down below. Thank you for all the interactions and so on and so forth. Y'all make sure y'all share the content as well, man.
And Twins info is in the description of this video. So if you're not subscribed to him already, please make sure you click on that and go do so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I appreciate all
Greatly appreciated.
Most definitely, man. Yeah, so I'm definitely, like I say, I'm excited though for this off season. I think we have a team that we are, again, last year we had a lot of free agents that we picked up from the undrafted pool last year. I think they're still on this team that can make some noise. I think we got some second-year players that didn't get a lot of opportunity. One day, Kyle will start playing the young players a lot more. In my opinion, I think he doesn't do that. He definitely does stick to his guns with some of the older players, which I get it. But sometimes with any young player, you got to allow them the opportunity to go out there and make some mistakes so they can go out there and flourish as well. So I'm excited that this draft is coming up. I pray that Purdy, man, in all seriousness, I hope that the young boy is doing all right mentally, because I can know he feel it. Even if he's probably staying off social media and everything of that nature, man, we all got energy, you know what I'm saying? So I know he feel what's going on you know, or even if he's not looking, I know the people around him is looking, and he probably can feel that pressure whenever he's around them as well. So, man, I hope they do right by the young fella and don't put him in a compromising position where his career could be in jeopardy, and that they really take care of him like they seem to say how much they like him and what it is that he can do. So make sure the young boy is all right, man, and that he get his arm together for not just for the next year, but at least for the next 6 to 7 years, so he can have a good arm.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we talked about that last night, you know, about when, you know, Purdy needs to be able to make that decision and say, you know, what's better for me for my long-term future. You know, like, yeah, I want to win this competition right now and be the starter of the 49ers this year, next year, whatever. But if I rush back from this injury and I hurt myself worse, I may never, ever get to play again. I may never, ever get to start again in the football league, whenever, whatever, you know? So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like, that's really what's the most important on Purdy's side, is that he takes the time to, you know, get the right surgery, you know, and then heal right, make sure everything's good, because, you know, that's his throwing arm. So, like, oh, I would hate to see that so much, like him get rushed back and then he goes to make a throw in the freaking game and his fucking arm falls off. You know, it's just like you, I don't want to see that for anybody, you know, even if they're on the Cowboys, you know, like, I don't want to see that for anybody, let alone one of our own guys, you know, like, yeah, I'm a Trey Lance supporter through and through, but if Purdy beats him out or Purdy's the quarterback, like, I'm supporting Purdy, right? Like, I'm a 49ers fan more than I'm a fan of them regardless. And I supported Purdy when he was the quarterback this season, but, you know, I just want things to be done right. You know, like, we saw, like, the shit that happened. Like, I was still, like, I love Kaepernick. Like, I loved watching Kaepernick play, right? Like, watching him run even, like, I still haven't seen a quarterback that just moves the way he did. Like, those long-ass legs. Like, he just would, like, it wouldn't even look like he was even trying to run that fast. And all of a sudden, he's already down there, you know? It's just, like, so effortlessly, like, it looked. And just, like, his arm, like, it was just so exciting, football was then, you know?
Yeah. The bombs to Vernon Davis, man. And, you know,
but I was still upset when they did Alex Smith. I felt like they did him dirty. Like I was so upset that they let him lose his job because of an injury, you know? And it was like, oh, well, Kaepernick came in and, oh, now we're going to run with a young kid. And it was like, well, Alex was playing great up until he got injured that year. You know, it's like, we stuck with him all these years of all the shit that he went through, ups and downs, and the crappiest team, the crappiest O-lines you could find, right? Like, the guy never stood a chance. And it's like, and then he finally gets some talent. He's finally playing well, gets hurt, and, oh, sorry, we're going with this kid. Like, so I hated the way that was done. And I just really hope that things, like, you know, they do shit right this time.
Yeah, and we got, like I say, you got to learn from our mistakes. Again, this is why I tell, like, Cal, we got to quit playing musical chairs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we got to really just say, this is where we're going. Quit being indecisive. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, somebody has somebody in the master bedroom, then you have another person in the beach house. You're like, no, man, just pick somebody, you know? Yeah. And that's what we got to do, because, again, our team is too talented. And then again, like, we were the 49ers. And I know a lot of people they made the comparison to Joe Montana and Steve Young. I'm like, Steve Young came after Joe was a Super Bowl winning quarterback. After a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You see what I'm saying? This wasn't pre, you know, like, we was ringless. And so that matters too. There's degrees or there's levels to it. And so we're not talking. And then also we talk about Joe Montana, who is considered top 3 quarterback of all time. Like, he's higher in my book, but I'm just like, for general consensus, a top 3 quarterback of all time. And then you coming in and you want to compare the guy that was following him, which is Steve Young. He's in the top 100 players of all time. Multiple league MVP. So how is it? I don't understand how we get to trying to compare these guys who literally won Super Bowl, not go to these games and lose, but they won. And so the reason why you see the nitty-gritty banner, you see the decals, we see the memorabilia, because they went and won, not because they went there and lost. Let's be for real. It was the way they won. They were the golden standard. It was, when we go to the Super Bowl, we come out victorious. Like, it was a confidence. It was a swagger. It was just a mojo. It was just how those things set in place. And then this same San Francisco 49 teams try to carry that type of mojo and swagger. And it's like, bro, we appreciate you guys going to the NFC Championship, but guess what? You can't keep holding on to the coattails of the OGs who won rings. Go out there and this is title town, similar to how the Yankees do, or similar to how the Lakers do, or the Warriors. Like, they're not celebrating Western Conference championships. They like, man, what? We hang banners. We get rings. Like, this is how we live. This is what we do. So that's all I'm saying for this 49ers team. And it's been 2019. I understand 2020, but 2021, 2022. Come on, man. It's about that time to get it cracking. You know what I mean?
Yep. The number was 30. Tanya won. Congrats, Tanya. Yeah, I agree completely. I think TL, he said his dog like threw up or some shit. So he's taking care of his kids over there.
He said little the dog, your dog was like.
So a conversation that's not as sexy as the quarterback conversation is, I want to get your thoughts on this. Robbie Gould. Now, we've seen, you being close ties to the Cowboys. For those that don't know, Twins brother is a Cowboys fan.
Unfortunately.
We've seen what having a shitty kicker looks like. So, Gould is now going to be a free agent. We've already franchise tagged him once.
$10 million. How much was it?
Yeah, it's around there. Kept him under his freaking will when he didn't want to be here. Like, the guy's begging to go back to Chicago, and we're handcuffing him to the freaking bench, right? Like, what do you think? What do you think happens this year? Are we franchise tagging him? Are we signing him? Are we drafting somebody? What are we doing?
Let him go. Let's get somebody else. Hey, this is our own fault. We should have won several by now, if you're asking me, and that would have concluded his contract. He should have left with 2 rings by now on that golden foot, but we didn't take care of business. All right? Guess what you got to do? You got to bite the bullet, find somebody else for the next 7 to 8 years, with the new regime we got coming. Listen here. I seen multiple teams get new kickers, We appreciate what he did, but for the amount of money that he's going to take from the cap, we need to make sure we start solidifying this offensive line. We got to make sure we start solidifying the defensive line. And thank you, Robbie. Hey, Kyle, just make sure you put up more points. Make sure we're not kicking field goals, but we're scoring touchdowns. Last time I checked, did you remember the Kansas City Chiefs in the first half of that game? Did they make that field goal or they missed it?
They missed it.
But what happened in the next 4 possessions, though?
They scored touchdowns.
Okay, listen here. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? I'm playing to the degree where I don't even want the referees or the kickers to be involved in the game. You know what I'm saying? I know the kicker ended up having to kick to win, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, they could have went for it and tried to score a touchdown too as well. So my thing is, hey, Cal, this is part of your conservatism. I think, it's a whole lot of syllables. I gotta clap it out. But but like, you gotta I know I got kids. I'm relearning. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But like, look, it's time for him to realize and get another, young kicker in there. Find somebody who can kick in the end zone. We got Wisnowski in there. He does a good job on the punt return. And this should be part of the, hey, thank you, Robbie. But
I think I saw if they were to franchise tag him, it's a little bit under $5.4 million. To franchise tag a kicker / punter this season. So,
I think, look, it's time. I
he's
appreciate
40 years old.
Look, man, let that man go out there and hang out with some of his little ones. You know what I mean? And
because I think he has a shit ton of kids too. So
if we was worried about it that much, we should have took care of business. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I definitely I get people saying, they want to keep him and yada yada because Gold, he's good as gold, yada whatever. But I definitely think that we need to get younger in that position. Like, I wouldn't be mad if, at the last pick, second to the last pick we have, you draft a young guy.
For sure. Or
I'd rather
and
do
look,
that than try to pick up some scrub that's been missing on other teams.
hey, and then also look, we can go ahead and look, we can get a little frisky when it comes to fourth downs. You know, it may be a little more. They may push Kyle to go for it some more on fourth down, or they may push Kyle to kind of when it goes to a punt, he may do a fake punt or something. Like it may spark a little daredevil in him a little bit. You know what I mean? And so we did. I will give kudos to the special team unit this year. I remember the last year before then, we had a lot of issues with that squad. We spent good money last offseason for solidifying our gunners and the wedge protectors and things of that nature, man. Even with our punt return and kick return as well. Salute to the 49ers for taking care of that. And the coach, I forgot his name is in my mind right now, but I think it's like Snyder or something like that. But appreciate you, my guy. Y'all really did upgrade us in that position. And I believe it showed. I mean, people might not talk about it a lot of times, but it definitely showed in the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. A lot we talked about going into last season, that we needed to see all three phases of football actually show up and play. And up into, the last seasons before that, it was like special teams was completely missing. Like you can't win football games, especially, playoff games, a Super Bowl, if all three phases ain't showing up to play. So I'm glad that we had got rid of Hightower, get rid of, I was so sick of Kyle's friends just freaking hanging around in jobs, not doing shit, get rid of all those people, get in some new people that are actually going to do shit.
Come on now, LIG.
Much better.
You know what I mean?
I see Sid already started entering her number at 543, so let's go ahead and do another giveaway. We'll do Nick Bosa.
Nicky Bosa.
Starting with Sin at 43 after with 51. Good luck, everybody.
How much the franchise tag for a DN?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm just asking. Be like, hey, Nick.
You think they would? Hey, I don't think so.
Hey, Nick, we'll franchise you. See, can we get another DN to come over? And then next year, as we reconstruct the contracts, you know what I'm saying, we'll pay you on the back end, But right now, let's try to get a couple free agents to tie you up with a lot of this guaranteed money we'll have to give you.
Let's see.
But yeah, I don't mind them paying Nick though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just, just for conversation purposes.
Right under 20 million.
I mean, hey, that's a nice little grip. Your brother making good money anyway, so it ain't like you really need it for real. You know what I'm talking about? You show a little patience.
Steve-O says he's one beer in and feels drunk with your background.
Oh, my bad. I got you out here with the woozy feel. I don't even know how that happened. I guess it's just because the way I popped on. Did you do it?
No.
It was just me? Oh, no. Probably because I need you to focus on my face, my guy, Steve-O. We just right here. The bandana, the face, the beard. I just need you here, my guy.
This is something else we had discussed yesterday. Melissa wants to get your thoughts on it. If we were to keep either one, Amenahue or Sosa, which one would you keep?
I'm not in love with the Sosa, okay? So I'm going to keep Charlie. I'll keep Charlie because he's I think he's better. He's a better hybrid of playing three in edge technique. And I think he won't command as much money as Ebicom, in my opinion. He's younger as well. I think this is only his second year into the defense. And also Ebicom legs. There was always a lower injury going on with him. I think over the last 8 weeks of the season. I don't know whether it was his Achilles, whether it was his calf muscle, whether it was just always a lower extremity that was aching him. And I don't like that because you need that type of explosiveness coming off the edge. And then he wasn't really getting sacks for real. I believe Amenahue was more so of an inside rusher, and Ebicom was on the outside. And for you to only have 5 sacks and Bosa has 18, I'm sorry, man. We got if he had like 9, you know what I'm saying? They looked a little sexy. Or 11, 9.5. They were like, okay, I see you, but bro, you got 5 sacks. That's not enough. So I'm giving Charlie some money.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the amount of money that Sosa was making last year. Like I wanted to cut him even before the season even started. Like we have other people on the team that can give us that production and make a quarter of what he's freaking making, you know. And no, they kept him, and what did we see? Him not do shit pretty much all season. So like, get him the hell out of here.
Hey, he faded away like MJ. He just off in the distance and just was gone. I'm like, bro, we need you to come back.
Have you heard about Washington maybe not wanting to pick up Chase Young's 5th-year option? There's been a lot of people, you know, obviously talking about trading Trey Lance to Washington for Chase Young, which is so stupid. Let's trade away our only healthy quarterback for a DN that we need to pay because he needs to get paid, right?
So we pay 2 DNs,
yeah,
200, 185 possibly, right? One, we can't keep a healthy quarterback. So for the people who want to trade away Trey Lance, bro, you want him to back up Brock Purdy anyway. If you we only seen one successful year that the quarterback was upright. George Kittle said it the other day during his exit interview. He says there's only 1 year that had one quarterback the whole year. Other than that, he says, I think there was like at least 4 years where he had more than 3 quarterbacks, and then there was 2 more years where he had more than 2. So it's like, bro, we don't need to trade not a damn quarterback, man. They cheap right now. The 2 that we have, for as Brock Purdy, probably make $900,000. Trey making maybe $10-11 million. Listen, keep them 2, bring in a couple stragglers off the street that are decent. Now, we got to continue to utilize our money in other areas, as far as offensive line, defensive tackle, edge rusher, and we got to realize what we're going to do with the safety position.
Yeah, and I really want to have Drake. I hope Drake Jackson, you know, comes in from camp like ready to go and can take on that end role, like opposite Bosa. In a perfect world, that's what would happen, and we don't have to pay millions of dollars to some guy that, you know. For sure,
especially like I said, he 3rd year, you know, maybe he can come in. Drake like he had a little baby fat on him, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you, when I see him, he look thickums out here, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Get in the weight room and, you know, get the nutrition right. Same thing with Trey Lance too. He was talking so like nutrition wise as well. You know, you gotta get a little baby fat off you, man. Quit eating all the little Sour Patch Kids at night times, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, don't get me started on Kittle. That guy should have never been running his fucking mouth to begin with. He's running his mouth like he's gonna show up into the season like fucking Hulk, and yeah, right.
The Kinlaw situation, Kinlaw, I don't know how much he'd probably be real cheap this year, or do you think they'll cut him?
No, because the money, his contract this season is guaranteed regardless. So
well, look, you keep him, and if he plays crap, you just let him go. But right now, for depth purposes only, you keep him. You know, it ain't gonna cause you no sweat off your back. You know, the money is probably already into the into the framework of the contracts. But other than that, go get some more. I mean, again, you got to get some more help. Or do something also with my man's Armstead contract too. I mean, we appreciate what you've done, but paying you $23 million this year, man, for that type of production, can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, he'll be a backup role. Definitely don't roll out with expecting him to be the starter again. Can't roll into another season like that, especially the way he ended this season. Like, good Lord, he looked terrible in that Eagles game.
Put him in jumbo packages.
I've never seen a man that big, like, getting pushed out of the fucking frame of the camera on TV. Like, how is that even possible?
Hey, that man got tossed out like, you know, like the bounce at the club. You know how you take the little bitty dude, just pick him and just you know what I'm saying? Or when you used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back in the day, how Uncle Phil you just toss Jeffrey out the way, just you know. But instead of him being 5'5", 130 pounds, he's 6'6", 328 pounds. Just
throwback said, "I'm done with Kinlaw. I hate him."
But we keep him. We keep him because we need him to come out the bus first, though. Because just off aesthetics alone, he does look a little intimidating. So we gotta keep the mean mug. Them come out the bus. You know what I'm saying? Just like these right here. But then he sit on the bench all the time.
He's the biggest, scariest, weakest guy I've seen ever in my life.
Yeah. So
like, how can you be that size and like just have no freaking strength? Like, where did it go?
Them knees, man. They call it the glute chain muscle, the biggest muscle and the biggest connecting muscle in the human body. And so once those jokers get weak, no matter how big it is, your base is not there, and he is just a swindling big building, man, just waiting to tip over, unfortunately.
And then I heard that somebody had said that he had lost about 30 pounds this last season to try to take weight off those knees, which I didn't see his official weigh-in, whatever, but if that's true, he definitely lost some strength with that 30 pounds.
Oh yeah, that 30 pounds is a lot.
Yeah, shit.
Listen, look, we call them some thickums.
Let's see.
Do you think? How do you feel about E-Man? Because I know some people are kind of like, thinking that he could go down there with the Texans because he had several years with what's our guy name? D'Amico Ryans, man. I think we should bring him back, but again, I did like what Diamond Lenore did. I don't think our CB situation is horrible. I know a lot of people are kind of skeptical, saying that we need another cornerback, and I'm like, I don't think we need another one. Like, if it's level of priority, I don't think it's like top 3 or 4. I think it's more so on the back end. But I think we need more, like I said, interior help first and foremost.
What's up, Breezy? He says he used to toss Jazz, not Jeffrey. I think he was tossing everybody out that house.
What I call Jazzy Jeff. I was thinking about Jazzy Jeff. DJ Jazzy Jeff and so, but yeah.
Throwing the butler out the door and shit.
Yeah. Oh, but also, you know what happened? Hey, Breezy, I got a rebuttal. I'm quick on my toes. You got to know that if you saw the new up-to-date version of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, spoiler alert, he did toss Jeffrey out. Just so y'all know. Yeah, so go. Hey, Peacock, send me a little endorsement if you want to sponsor. Yes, on this one, Uncle Phil tosses the butler out. So.
That's funny. Hey, Dina, I see you.
What up, family? How you doing, Miss Harvey?
Thanks for stopping through. Appreciate you all. But yeah, I agree with E-Man. I hope we bring him back, obviously if he's healthy and everything went well and he's looking good. Because I think he was playing the best season that we've brought him up to the point that he's at now, and then we're going to let him go play for somebody else. It's like, I think he was playing great before he got hurt, and him and Charvarius back there together were, like, I felt like they could have been locking fools down this season.
For sure.
And hopefully.
Definitely a beautiful dynamic duo, man. And we need that, man, especially when every other year we got something that's going on. See? You hip, see? You definitely got tossed out the new one, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely.
What do you think we're going to do for that safety position opposite Hufanga?
Man, honestly, the relationship, we will definitely draft one. I believe the relationship between him and Gibson, I saw the interview that he did with Huff and I forgot the young lady's name, but she kind of does the inside, conversations every week with the 49ers players. They seem like they got a really big brother, little brother situation going on, and they were even in talks of having a podcast together with Huff and Gibson. So if they start that podcast together, I think just their bond would probably say, hey, we'll bring Gibson back, and then also be able to bring in another, maybe use we don't have very high picks, but another pick to bring in somebody else to come in and start to, well, we don't really need a high pick because we've seen, Huff wasn't a high pick. So whoever our scout say is out there, man, do a wonderful job, man, find another diamond in the rough, you know what I'm saying, to bring to the San Francisco 49ers because we definitely would need him. Gibson would be 33. Hey, man, I'm a little older than 33. I'm still kind of agile myself. If you take good care of your body, man, you start, getting into Pilates, eating right, make sure you stretch good, you can extend your career, especially playing the safety position.
You say it's contract season, so unfortunately money talks. I kind of go into the off season not banking on any of the players to return. We don't have a lot of money. Man,
look, you got to turn to what's the girl named Elsa? You got to let some people go. You gotta let some of the contracts go. I mean, I know people don't like to hear that part, man. They want to keep a lot of the players that we do have under contract. And some of the good teams know how to say, hey, I'm gonna let this person go. But we've been grooming this individual here. I think that we have enough strength or experience here to be able to elevate this position, and we can, free up some cap space. And that's what we got to do. And people, you can't get upset about some of your, your buddies getting up out of here. I ain't gonna name no names, but sooner or later, it's about to start happening. We can't have all these individuals under contract and paying all of them top five. Well, at the time, it was top five money, but right now, they just continue to take a lot of our cap space up. So we might start seeing some people slowly but surely leave, but at the same time, gives another individual opportunity to step up and do some things.
Yeah, especially when those guys making the big money are getting older and older and older, like we're going to have to replace them and bring in new blood. Unfortunately, that's the way the business works. So younger and cheaper, that's the way they want to do it.
Gotta let them go.
I agree, Breezy. Definitely, he's not gonna. I don't see him giving us no hometown discount to stay here. Like he needs to get this bread and take care of his family. So,
hey, what's up, Walmart? What's up, Walmart? What's up, Amber? Time. Look, it's your time to shine. I like what you did on Walmart in the time that I did see you. I know you made a couple mistakes, but I love your ball skills. I love the way you stay inside. I love how you kept eye contact. Hey, man, listen here. Come on over. What did Aaliyah say? Come on over to the DB. Come on, play slot. Let's go.
As long as none of them go to the Eagles. Yeah, after this season, I don't know if you know, but my family are all from Philly. They're all Eagles fans. So usually, if the 49ers aren't playing, whatever, I'll root for the Eagles to win, obviously, because that's my family's team, right? This season, I told them, never fucking again. Their fans made me hate them, and I, to where, I'm apologizing and am ashamed that my fucking family's from there. Because, people just think, oh, all these Philly fans, they're terrible. It's so now my family grouped in with all these terrible assholes, and it's just nah, I'm not supporting y'all anymore because you did it.
So you might not know this, but so I have my brother that's a Cowboy fan, and then we have there's another brother who's bearded as well. He's an Eagles fan, and so our group chat and our video chats, it was I was mad as a mofo. Then him and my brother, they're rivalries, and so he had. Yeah, so I feel you.
How does that happen?
We're from Mississippi, so we had freedom of choice, so we could pick anybody we wanted. So, like I said, my older brother picked the Eagles. I ended up picking the Niners, and my brother picked the Cowgirls. So I don't know how it happened, but it just
none of you guys picked the same team.
None of us picked the same team, and my mother, man, she's a Saints fan, and so.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, so man, and she watches football too. So it was a hectic household with a lot of clashing, of the minds as well.
Steve says your beard's better than Harden's.
I'm actually older than James. I'm older than James Harden, so I would say he got it from me, but because I was the lesser known of the two commodities, I let him have it up.
Christy says, watch Twins brother live when we were going to play Cowboys. It was wild. Them together are wild. So think whatever you've seen of his brother by himself, them together are even more crazy. So
yeah, we gave each other a little break because we some sort of lose. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. So we go reconvene with one another in the next week. Saying just to start back, getting back together with our shows. But we had to take a break because I was real edgy because we won against the Cowboys, and he knew what type of energy I was on. And then I was real, I ain't gonna lie, I was sort of losing when we lost and the way that we lost. And then our other brother beating us. And so we had to go through that whole week of man, I'm not going to cheer for this dude team because we ain't going to hear the end of this guy. So. But big, appreciate you, Christy, man. Thank you for checking it out, man. Salute to you,
Yeah, that's the only Cowboy show that I'll watch.
Yeah.
The only Cowboy show I'm subscribed to, the only one I'll ever be subscribed to.
Well, look, I appreciate it. And if you know y'all for the same reason, I'm always look. please go subscribe to my brother's channel, man. I know he a Cowboy fan, but man, it would definitely be dope, man. I think my brother's almost at 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So every subscriber right now matters. And also we'll continue to help the faithful as well, man, because it's just been awesome get to learn certain things that go on behind the scenes. And like, I don't do content as much as he does, or even you guys do, but I have learned some things just by being a fan of his and watching and supporting. Man, big ups to every individual who pod, weekly and consistently, man. There's a lot of things that I'm not good at when it comes to just the things that goes on in the background when it comes to this, man. So I just salute to everybody out there in the digital world who is podding and giving out content, making videos, doing thumbnails, doing writing, descriptions. I mean, all the things that you guys do, man. Look, hey, salute to you guys. Continue to do your thing. Continue to be encouraged, even though it gets hard sometimes. So just want to give you guys some flowers on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. After the season ended, there was I had to take a couple-week break because just the season just was so much on its own, such a crazy season. I was just exhausted. And then from doing this, just everything that goes into it, like you said, there's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people have no clue, right? They just think we sit down and freaking talk about football, oh, it's nothing. You just turn on your computer and start talking,
Yeah.
No, so much shit goes into getting ready for a show. And then when you have to package up giveaways and send out all this shit, it takes freaking hours and hours. I have to have probably 40 hours a week just to package up fucking giveaways.
Yeah.
Every single day I have people coming in chat. Did you send my giveaways yet? Did you send my giveaways yet? It's do you know how long shit takes when it's only one person doing shit by themselves? I'm getting shit for free. It'll get there when it gets there.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, like I said, my respect, and just like I said, I tried, and I'm gonna try again. During the off season, get back into trying to make more content. I rather, how I said, you got artists back in the day. You have people who can put out music and be like, hey, I'm gonna put a feature on this. Come be a feature artist, or come drop a bar or two on there. I'm like, listen, I would love to be the king of your feature artist. Just come in here, let me do a quick 16. But for me to create and curate my whole album. My ADHD ain't good with that, man. I'd be like, wait a minute. I ain't gonna lie. I get kind of freezing. That's why I'm like, I can get high in octane, but to sit down and do the meticulous thing that you guys do.
I'm that same way. You see my chair is constantly fucking moving over here because sit still. So my wife tells me all the time, could you just finish one project? She's like, you have 60 projects going on around the fucking house. It's well, because I start doing something, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm bored. Let me move on to something else. I'll be doing something and think, oh shit, I got to do this. So I'll go do something else.
Look, if don't nobody else understand you, I just looked around my little here and I just saw 3 different things already. So I'm hip to you. I'm like, spring is coming. I'm doing like this. Oh man. I'm like, I gotta rebuild a fence. I gotta sand my wood floor and put a new epoxy over it. I gotta finish taking out my wallpaper down there in my bedroom and repaint it. I gotta make sure I take this hole, put some more spackle over it. I'm like, don't tell me nothing else.
Yeah.
But man, big ups.
I was questioning whether I was even going to do this anymore. There is thoughts crossing my mind. I'm just going to stop the channel. So much work goes into it for what? I ain't seeing nothing. It's working an 80-hour job every week and you ain't getting paid. It's so it's all just doing it for free. It's is this really worth it? So I just needed to take a break to make sure, get my mind right, get a break from the season, and just make sure I was doing this for the right reason, that this is still something I was passionate about to keep doing, And I would say after 3 or 4 days into my break, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go talk football again. I knew obviously at that point, this is what I want to do,
Just got to gas up. That's all. And I think, you guys do. No, I think I will give, I said, I just got on Twitter last year. And then slowly begin to communicate with you guys and talk, whether it came from Twitter Space and then start, getting to podcasting and whatnot. But I will say this, man, as the community continues to grow, I have seen you guys from afar back, just hopping on each other's channels, supporting one another, man. And I think that's the dopest part. No matter what, however the case may be, just being able to talk about your team, with people who you don't necessarily know for real, but you do know there's a common passion for the for the 49ers and for football as well. So I think that in itself does speak volumes because we never know what goes on behind the doors or whatnot.
Yeah.
But to be able to have the opportunity to sit here and to talk trash or to continue to see things that are going on that's well or negative, man, I think it does do a lot for us. So just as long as we do it in moderation, I guess, or to the point where it's not overly consuming us and it starts to drag us down that much. So keep doing the thizzle, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I appreciate all the turnout too. We couldn't be doing all of us content creators couldn't be doing what we're doing without y'all in the chat. So as long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep being here to ramble on in your ear about nothing.
Yeah. And make sure, like I said, I think I saw Miriah. She said, Twin Empire, man. You can find me on YouTube. TWINEMPIR. I am your favorite guy with two sets of twins, man. And I'm a 49 fan. So look, y'all make sure y'all hit me up. You know what I mean?
In the description of this video is the links as well to his Twitter and to his YouTube. So you can click right on there, follow him on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and you'll be set. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, Throwback. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and draw this giveaway winner. Then we can get on out of here if we want. We're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
39.
39. Who's the last number 39 player for San Francisco 49ers?
I don't know. That's a weird number to have.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna watch the XFL or USFL?
I saw part of the game of the XFL on Sunday. I'm in Missouri, and they have a team, the St. Louis Battlehawks. They were one of the teams that had that crazy ending. I don't know if you did watch or not, but they came back from I think it was 17 points, something like that, with a minute or something. Yeah, it was crazy. So I mean, it's football. It's for entertainment. I probably won't watch it as intently, but I definitely look at it and see, is there anything good going on? So
yeah, Vegas has a team too. I didn't get to watch them. I just seen too late that they had already lost the first game. So, go figure. The losers. I'm I don't know if I want to watch them. I can't deal with any more losing.
Hey, look, that's my thing. I'm a sore loser. Yeah, big up to Melissa, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, me too. I'm a sore loser.
I'm loving that t-shirt, though. I'm joking. Nice.
Thanks. All right. You have anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Man, listen. Let's just continue to, again, just keep your boy Purdy, man, in y'all prayers for a good diagnosis in the next, 2 weeks maybe. I guess they'll say they reevaluate him then. And also continue to support the channel, man. Make sure y'all hit that like, that follow, to the faithful, you know what I mean? And make sure y'all keep tuning in and, be positive out there.
You want to let them know your brother's channel name as well so that they can go subscribe over there?
Oh, yeah, man. Also, if y'all ain't doing that, man, take a good minute and a half. Go to Law Nation Sports. Make sure you go out there and hit that like button and subscribe to his channel. I know he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, but more than that, he's a good person, man. And he does give out really, really great content. So go out there and support, man. Like the channel, sub to it. And, I definitely would appreciate it because, I'm a happy little big brother. Well, I'm his little, but I'm his big brother. And it's always awesome to see him out there doing his thing. So make sure y'all go out there and support him, man. He does a good job.
Yep, he does do great things.
This is what he
like I said, even though it's Cowboys content, I love watching. He's just so entertaining, and the both of you together, great.
I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's what the page look like. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little big brother, man.
You'll see a Cowboys page with trillions of freaking subscribers. That's it.
Yeah, man. That's my bro, man.
When I first seen his page, I was like, holy shit. He really is big time.
Man. Time. Look, it's so weird too. I was like, man, golly, brother. You know what I mean? And then he lives in in Texas too. So it's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. He's like just living down in there. He's like, man, it's different now. He's like, it feels awkward. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, big ups to my brother, man. It's cool. Some of the guys that I know, and you know that the guys who are I would say the trailblazers, you know, of the 49 content makers here on the internet, man. They know me. It's just cool seeing them having just the respect for just what he does and how he does his content. So it's always good when you hear have a family member out there doing something and they don't know that you know them, but they still speak, you know, highly of your brother. And so I like that more than anything, just because of the way he handled himself and how he carried himself. So what's up, my sister T? She said, yes, Twin Brother's really funny, very cool. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. All right, Twin, I appreciate you coming on. Sorry that we got the times mixed up.
Yeah, that's my bad. I'm blame my kids.
We'll have to do it again for sure.
Yes,
especially when TL is able to stay on and ain't cleaning up dog diarrhea or whatever the hell he's doing over there.
For sure. Hold on. Wait. Since we talking about, come here. Get my pooch a little TV time. Come here, my boy.
All right.
Since we
like poochie TV
yeah,
time.
Come on up here. Say hi.
Oh, that's a big baby.
And my big boy. Say hey, everybody.
What's his name?
This is Bo.
Hey, Bo.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dog lover. I'd much rather be with dogs than around people. So.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Look, my boy, he be chilling. I almost stepped on his neck the other day though, because he has his padding in front of like at the foot of the bed. But lately he'd get right beside like where I stepped down at. And you know how when you went.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, man, I gotta be more careful.
No dog beard. The dog don't have a beard yet. It's growing.
We'll get one for the holidays and put one on him, man.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right, chat. We appreciate you. I'll be back Saturday with Aaron from 49ers First Takes. So you get to see me 3 times this week. Hope you're happy.
Hey, that's what's up, Daniel.
I love y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Again, Twin, I appreciate you. We're out of here.
Out.